What's up, brother? How you doing? How you feeling? Have you seen your mother? When you see her next time, tell her that I love her. I was crashing in the living room like
Yo, this your boy Tbrown.
What's up, brother? This your boy Troy, and welcome
And
to the What's Up, Brother podcast. And we back with another episode, guys. Now we
This
want
one's
to
gonna be
take
a
the
great
time out. I want to take
Tell
the
'em.
time out before we get started to thank
Tell
you
'em.
guys for watching the video on YouTube, listening to it on Spotify, any other of the
Yeah, thank you guys.
platforms that you're listening
Thank
to
you,
it
thank
on.
you, thank you, thank you.
But we want to give some special shout outs to the people on YouTube, man. We want to tell you guys, if you do watch the video, don't forget to hit the like button, because you guys help us out with getting the video out to other people on YouTube that might not know we make content, and they might like it, and they might want to hit that like button too and subscribe to us. So you guys could really help us out by just hitting that like button. It don't cost you nothing. It takes about a millisecond. Just pop the like button as soon as you turn the video on, whether you like it, you don't like it. You just help us out, get the video out to other people, all right? But we want to give some special shout outs today, man. We was on Spotify. We was looking at some of the analytics, Anchor and Spotify, looking at some of the analytics. And right now we have 68% listeners in New Jersey, and that's Jersey City, Elizabeth, Jersey City, Elizabeth, and Newark. So we want to thank you guys out there in North Jersey City, especially Jersey City, because that's where we from. You know, Elizabeth, shout out to you because you one of our new listeners. Yeah, I pay attention. You one of our new listeners. I want to shout out Missouri, St. Louis, and St. Charles, man. Thank you guys for listening all the way out there. And we want to shout out the one person that's listening in California, out there in San Fran. Thank you. We want to thank you guys, man. We want to let you guys know we appreciate you. Much love, man. Keep supporting us, man, and we'll keep rocking with you guys. Keep bringing you guys good content, good conversations. But today, man, today is a good one. We got a cop in the building. We got a cop in the building today, and we're gonna be discussing police brutality, some misconceptions about it, and then his time in the army. All right, so we're gonna get him up in here, and then we're gonna get to it, guys. All right, go. All right, he is in the building. What's up, brother?
Hey, fella, long time no see.
Can you hear us?
Can
you hear us?
Yo, what's goody?
I can hear you.
All right, yeah. For a second there, you were just looking and you wasn't saying nothing.
It wasn't up, man.
Oh, we saw you before you saw us. All right, what's up, man? How you doing, brother? How you doing?
Good, Just.
Good to see you. It's good to see you. I'm good, man. I'm just chilling, just trying to make it in life, bro.
It's been forever since I've seen you, bro.
Yeah, it's been a little bit of time.
Man.
So, man, we gotta start this podcast off right, man. Tell the people a little bit about yourself, what you do, who you are.
Who, me?
Yeah, you.
Yeah.
I didn't know if you were talking about me or the other dude, man.
Nah, Tyrone, my co-host.
Bro, I'm the co-host, bro.
Hey, man, listen, I thought it was just gonna be me just talking. I ain't know.
Nah, my co-host. I meant to tell you that. Yeah, I didn't disclose all the information
my
to
apologies, my apologies.
Nah, it's all good. It's all good.
I put my hat back for and see if you remember me or not.
Yeah, you don't remember Dance Battle him in 22 Park?
No, I remember him.
No, all right.
I remember him. For those who don't know me, my name is Mark McKnight. Everybody know me as Ja, born and raised in Jersey City from Lafayette Projects. Moved to 16th Street, went to Ferris High School, born in the trenches.
Hey, Bulldogs, we out here.
The second week we here and born in the trenches.
Yeah, I mean, I started from the bottom, now I'm here, you know what I mean?
Got it out the mud.
Oh, God.
At an early age, 17, I left Jersey. I went to basic training for the United States Army. I was a heavy weapons operator for 5 years. Did one tour in Afghanistan. Moved to Texas for 3 years. My time overseas, I got shot. I got blown up. I shot people, blown stuff up. And I got out, and I got out of the military in 2013. I went in 2008, got out in 2013. I took a year off from really doing any type of hard work. Then I became a police officer in Jersey City Police Department. And I've been on for 6 years. I'm now a detective. I work overnights in the South District, which is the Hill. So.
Oh, my, right up here with me. How you doing? Right up here. Where the bullets be flying?
That's why I used to always see you when I was on the post and everything.
Yeah, I was just telling Tbrown, I was like, yo, I don't even know if Jai's a cop no more because I don't see him up here.
And there you go. That's your answer.
Congratulations on the promotion.
Yeah, man, I'm still here. Just man, ain't nothing changed.
Word, I'm happy to hear that because I did not know. I did not see you. I was like, yo, where's this guy? He used to be posted on the corner, and I ain't nowhere to be seen.
Yeah, I mean,
moved up. My
earphones.
man.
What'd you say? You put your earphone on, we can hear you.
Y'all can hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Yeah. So I mean, I've just been working, man, back and forth working. I work overnights now. So
that's good though. It's good that you're still a cop though, because that kind of helps the course of the interview. Because I didn't know. I was like, damn, is this guy still? Is he retired? Did he walk? Like, what is he doing? Because I just didn't see you up here. Like,
because the crazy thing about it was, like, mind you, I used to work days, which was 7 a.m. to 3 p.m., 3:30 p.m. I was working days, and I was out of work for about 10 months after the time you used to see me. The reason being was the whole shootout that happened on Bidwell. And
pause right there. Pause right there. We it is an episode coming out about that. I don't know if we're gonna have Mark back. I think we might just have you back, bro. I think that's how I'm gonna do. I think we're gonna have you back, and I'm gonna tell it from my side, and you tell it from being outside. I tell it from inside, and you tell it from outside.
Because I'm not going front. I think I was on the phone when you just before.
You just hung up. Yeah, you just hung up.
Yeah,
and then
literally.
The gunshot started ringing.
Off the phone with him.
And then I called my cousin. But let's say that for the other episode. Go ahead, Mark.
Okay, pretty much that day, you know what I mean? I won't really, if we're gonna have another.
Yeah, we're gonna have another episode about it. So let's save the details to that.
I'll save the details basically, but the reason why I was out for 10 months was because of the Jewish shooting, and I was heavily involved in that. So
I seen it with my own eyes.
Yeah, I mean, all right. Just to let people know, if you want to know how heavily involved I was, you can just go on YouTube and you type in JCPD body cam shootout, and you'll see the Jewish shooting, and you'll see me shooting out of the window in Sacred Heart. So I'll just leave it at that.
Oh, that was you shooting out the window in Sacred Hearts? How did you get there from the position I saw you? So when I saw you, we gonna get just a teeny bit. That's the same gun?
Same gun.
Man, see, you gotta that episode is gonna be crazy, guys. You guys gotta tune in. That episode is gonna be crazy, yo. I'm telling you, because I was going through it up here. Now I was in the house with my daughter getting all types of guns pointed at me from the cops, all that shit. Like cops was pointing the guns and everything. But let's get back on track. All right, let's get back on track. We're gonna save all that details. But go ahead. So you was out 10 months because of the Jewish shooting.
Yeah, I was out 10 months for that. I had came back to work October of 2020. Then I was made detective January of 2021. So I got moved back to midnight. So that's why you don't see me during the day.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was worried. I was like, yo, where is this guy? Like, I used to like seeing you on the corner.
Yeah, man. That corner, I thank God I got moved from that corner because literally, if I was still working that corner,
the day of the shoot, you would have been there.
They would have shot at me before I could even have a chance to do anything.
Yeah, thank God that they did.
And even at that time, like, we weren't like fully equipped be slanging it out.
Like I said, I keep saying it because I don't want to give away too much
detail. Yeah, I ain't gonna give away too much juice, man. I'm just saying
it was like, if you guys have never been around a mass shooting or like involved in one, like Mark himself and myself, I was literally like involved. Even though I was in my house, like we were still a part of it.
You was in the
you don't understand. We were still a part of it in our house. So.
Y'all couldn't, because you lived on Bidwell, right? Yeah, you lived up on the
corner. No, right on the corner, right by the store.
So you're on the corner, so yeah, you couldn't come in and out of your house, and we had to go through your backyard.
Right?
Yeah,
they came through my building. The cop.
Yeah.
I'll give you this one little piece of advice. Cop came upstairs, didn't know I lived here. I was like, yo, I live here. He jumped around with a gun to the peacoat, about to blow my head off, bro. Swear to God, because they were so antsy. They were antsy, so I never blamed them. I don't hold nothing against them, because I wanted to be a cop. So I don't know how. Just knowing I had my daughter in the house and we'll get into it in another episode.
Yeah, I mean,
bro.
It's a lot,
bro.
But yeah, that's the reason why you haven't really seen me much, because I got moved to a different tour. But,
well, I'm glad you're safe. Let's start it off, man. I'm glad you're safe.
Yeah.
Seeing you that day, I text you. I still got the message on Facebook. I text you why the shots were still going on. Like,
I couldn't
message you why the shot,
bro,
nigga, are you good?
I had so many messages. The crazy part about it, dog, I left my phone in the car.
Yeah, I wouldn't imagine to grab my phone. I
usually have it in my pocket, but we, like I said,
we get into it.
I'll give you a rundown of that day on another episode.
Yeah, we're gonna get it on another episode. But so let's start it off. Let's talk about your Army days, man.
I gotta grab my
what
lemonade real quick, man.
Go
What
ahead,
do
grab
you-
your lemonade, man.
Go ahead, grab your lemonade.
Thirsty.
Look, I didn't. You
Goddamn.
grabbed your water. He grabbed his lemonade. And I got a glass of wine. All right, guy.
Cheers, fellas.
So let's start off with your army. Let's start off with the army. You being in the army because that was kind of cool growing up with you, being around you. You danced. We wrestled. Yeah, we wrestled.
Yeah.
And then you went to the army. So I kind of remember like when you told all of us you were going. I was kind of one of the last ones to know because I wasn't at that time. I wasn't as close to you guys as I was when I was younger. And I also remember being there the day you got back. So we're gonna talk about that a little later. So what do you remember about the day you enlisted into the army?
All right, before I get into, I'll give you a little bit backstory of why I enlisted in the first place. So being at, we're at the 20th anniversary of 9/11. Like most people from Jersey City, I watched it out of my classroom window. I was in PS22 at the time. I was in 6th grade.
We was in the same building,
So
bro.
I was in Mr. Green class.
Y'all was in 6th grade? I think I was in like 2nd.
We was in the same building, bro. I watched
was
the
in
first tower drop.
2nd grade, yeah.
I was in Mr. Green class, who was on the 3rd floor facing Lower Manhattan. And I remember hearing the first plane. I didn't see it impact. I caught the explosion after it impacted, thinking that something just blew up. I didn't know that a plane hit it. Then the second plane, I literally watched that. I went to Miss Fortuna's class. The second tower dropped. Then when I switched back to Mr. Green class, we watched the second tower drop. My mother came to get me that day. I remember going back to Lafayette, and that was the first time, like me as a regular city kid. That was like that evening was the first time I ever seen fighter jets before. First time ever seen fighter jets.
Yeah, because we was kids back then.
I'm like, yo,
yeah, we was kids.
I'm like, yo, that's the coolest shit ever. Like, fucking fighter jets. Yeah, I can curse.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm like,
bro.
all right. So I was like, oh,
sailors
shit.
on this bitch.
All right, cool. So I'm like, yo, fucking fighter jets. I'm like, yo, that must be a cool ass job. And like, ever since that day, I was
it's a natural disaster going on.
I was infatuated with planes.
Cool.
Like I was so infatuated with planes. Like, no bullshit. Let me grab something.
Yo, no BS, bro. I remember when we was kids, you were into flyer jets, bro. You used to love playing the games. And I knew you was going to get them. You used to play the flyer jet games, right?
I still have them. So I was so infatuated with fucking airplanes and stuff like that.
And that was why that's fascinating, bro.
When I got to high school, my one of my really good friends who's no longer with us, God rest his soul, Christopher.
Rest in peace.
I was on me and him we cool as hell when I lived in 16th Street. He was 18 and he enlisted into the Air Force. And he was like, he came back with false information. He was like, yo, if your mother emancipates you, you can go into the army, which is true. But the actual thing is, if your parents emancipate you, you can go into any branch. I was so eager just to get into the military that I chose
went to the
army instead of the Air Force.
Air Force.
So I enlisted into the army, and there really wasn't no jobs where you can fly fighter jets.
Nope.
So I'm like, well,
that's not.
I remember talking to my recruiter. I'm like, well, is there anything else you would want to do? I'm like, well, it'd be pretty cool to like tote guns and like shit like that, kicking like do all the spec ops shit. He's like, well, the basic of it is infantryman. I'm like, well, what do I have to score? He's like, you pretty much just got to pass the test to be an infantryman. Like, that's like the easiest job to get. Nobody really wants to be an infantryman. So I'm like, all right, cool. I went, I took the ASVAB and everything. I scored decently. They gave me a list of jobs that I can apply to. And I was like, no, I want to go 11 Bravo. So they was like, yeah, but you can do this job, which you can get a security clearance for this. I'm like, I want to shoot guns. So, February 2nd of 2008, I signed my contract to go to basic training that coming August. And Valentine's Day, I cut my hair. Then I was off to doing drills. Then August came. I was shipped off to Fort Benning, Georgia. I was in Fort Benning for 5 months. I graduated as a basic infantryman. And December of 2008, I was assigned here to Jersey City's Armory. I was assigned here for 2 years. And in 2010, I went active and I went to Fort Bliss, Texas, where I was raising hell out in Fort Bliss. So.
What do you mean raising hell? What you was doing, bro?
I was preparing to go to war. Like I arrived
training?
to Fort Bliss. Yeah, I arrived to Fort Bliss in 2010, April of 2010. We got the word that we were deploying that following. I got there in 2010. We found out that we were going to war. The ending of 2010. We got the orders that, hey, listen, come the 10th year anniversary of 9/11, we're going hunting. And we're like, we're going hunting. Like, what do you mean? Because we're like, yo, what the fuck does that mean? He's like, listen, we just got orders. We'll be going to the Wardak Providence, RC East of Afghanistan. We'll be there kicking ass and taking names. So niggas was excited.
Yeah,
Like,
I bet that had to be like an adrenaline rush. Like, yeah,
motherfuckers were
get out there
excited.
and do some. So I was supposed to go to the. I don't even know if you know this. I was supposed to go to the Navy when I was 17, but I backed out the last second.
I remember you telling me that.
Yeah, I backed out the last second. I got scared.
Hey, it's not for
I was
everybody.
a black kid from the hood, bro. All I knew was my environment, bro. So it was like when I started thinking like I gotta leave,
everybody
and ain't nobody I know going with me.
Right.
It was the fact nobody was going with me either.
About going to the military somewhere, yo.
Nobody was going with me by myself. So I was like, nah.
My thing as a kid, I had a fascination with guns. Like, even though crazy part about it, yo, my mother did not allow me to play with cap guns. I could barely play with fucking water guns around my mother.
That's probably why you had to fascination with it.
That's probably why.
And like, it was just to the point where she was just not having me around guns at all. So as I got older, I'm like,
Let's go try out some guns.
Let's go try out some guns. Crazy part about it, I ended up getting arrested before I even signed my contract because that October of 2007, I got arrested for possession of an airsoft pistol. I was shooting an airsoft pistol in my friend's backyard. His neighbors called the cops. I ended up getting locked up for it. So, but I just always had a fascination. Like, I just always had a fascination with firearms, and this wasn't like it wasn't like to like harm anybody. I just thought it was like, yo, badass that I can sit in one area and hit something 4 fucking football fields away from where I'm at.
That's why I always love the 50 cal sniper rifle, bro. I don't know why. I want to shoot it, bro. I want to shoot it because
will let you know. I'll let you know right now. The 50 cal is fun to shoot until like the 10th round. It's not funny. It's not funny
because it start hurting.
Okay, the 5th round.
It start hurting.
The 5th round.
That's because
only reason
they got a kick on it.
I've shot an 8mm. I've shot an 8mm rifle before, and I know that John got some pep in his step. And that was after skeet shooting the 12 gauge. So after that, I was like, yo, your shoulder. That John start to feel it.
My guns are like my extended family. I can introduce y'all if y'all want me to.
No, you say that for another show.
I mean, you can't, only because that would be something that would be for personal use. Like, we could be able to see that. We wouldn't be able to post none of that just because most places.
I understand.
YouTube
like,
come after me like, bro, what's up with this, bro?
I mean, they're all legally owned.
Yeah, but even people like Colin, I forget his name.
Yeah,
Colin
I know. Colin Noir.
Yeah,
like they're so.
They be trying to take people's stuff down. Like,
we're in such an environment. We're in such an environment where people are easily offended. People are easily offended, and you can't tell somebody, you can't even tell somebody to man the fuck up because that's misogynistic. Like, listen, at the end of the day, I would say it like this: you need testosterone built men. You need men that's a little bit machismo. Because when shit hit the fan, nobody wants nobody that's going to be a fucking pansy about it.
Yeah.
I understand it. Yeah, I'm all for people being who they are. But we 100%. We're definitely in an environment where people take things the wrong way. Mm-hmm. Like, don't get it twisted. I know some gay motherfuckers that's machismo as fuck.
On God.
I know. I've deployed with some gay dudes that'll tear some shit up if need be. But they don't have to incorporate their sexual orientation into everything they do. Like, I judge you for you, not for what you do behind closed doors.
Exactly.
And like, it's horrible the time that we live in.
Yeah, the society we live in today is crazy, bro. It's like back in the day when we grew up, we didn't know our parents was even having sex, even if they was in the same house. Like we
ain't paying attention to
know
it.
Right. Today it's like the parents having sex, the kids having sex, their kids having sex. Like it's so crazy because everybody wants to put what they're doing in their bed out there because now it's so glorified and then on the other end they'll look like, oh, we got to do something about this young people having baby crisis. No, it's because we're not showing them the right way of going about sex. Like I've been talking to like a couple of people on Facebook about this, like, and every time I talk to a girl and they be like, oh, a man need to get vasectomy because they're reversible and you can reverse them, but they don't never look up the side effects. First of all, for people that think vasectomies are reversible, they are, but it depends on how long it takes you to get it reversed for it to work. So if you're 18 and you wait till you're 35, you're not having a kid, bro. And plus you're going to bleed out your nuts. So go look it up. People don't understand that. But I always hit them with the condom thing and they all be like, you right. Yeah, because y'all so stupid. In the 90s, all we did was preach condoms to where most of us in the 90s grew up using condoms. I tell people the first 3 years of me being with my girl, bro, I used a condom. When we stopped, we had a baby. Like people don't understand it. It's that simple. It's that simple. Keep your sexuality to yourself and use condoms, bro.
I look at it like this. I'm like, yo, when it came to that whole they should make birth control for men, I'd be the first motherfucker to take that shit.
Yeah, why not?
I say the same thing, yo.
Brittany Renner.
I'll be right in line.
Brittany Renner. You wouldn't have got me.
You know how many motherfuckers would have overdosed on birth control pill? Like, yo, right. I'm about to go see. I'm about to go see Talisha. Like, yo, you took your birth control pill?
Nah, let me get another
one. I don't know. Let me get two of yours real quick. I'm just double the dose.
Oh God, niggas will be serious.
I guarantee you, we would not take the approach women are taking. Like, even if they made our bodies fat, we wouldn't give a.
Bro, motherfuckers would be popping pills like.
Wouldn't care, bro.
Niggas would be swole. Niggas would be working out like they jailbirds if it make niggas fat. Oh God.
Bruh. Imagine dudes on depot. Oh, I'd be a yoke motherfucker. If I had the depot, I'd have put on all that weight. I'd have been yoked.
Yup.
Bruh.
Bodybuilders would love it right
It'd
now.
be over, bro.
But
if they had depot for me, oh man, it'd be love, bro.
I always get one of them things too. On God, yeah.
I always love when we can have like conversations in the middle of like the questions because then it makes it like a little bit authentic. You know, that we really just sit here and we trying to learn off of each other and gain knowledge and share knowledge. But just getting back on topic, you answered my second question, so we're gonna go on to the third one. How did you imagine a military life before you joined, and what was your perception of it after you served?
Ooh, damn.
Yeah, I'm coming with the hard hitters today, bro. I'm coming with the hard hitters today.
He said, "Woo!"
So I'm gonna be real. I'm gonna be as real as I can, authentic as I can. Going into the service, I honestly didn't know what to expect. Like, it was a culture shock because, like, I'm a city kid. I got thrown on a bus, got stripped of my identity, shaved your hair. I'm a number and a last name. I'm not a last name. I'm a last name and I'm a number. And before I can even be my last name, I was a number.
Number first, yeah.
Crazy.
If I remember, I was
you was a digit.
042 or 046, something like that. I was that was your number, your roster number and everything like that.
And that's what they called you, and you had to know your number, so they called you.
Pretty much, you was just putting that down on them. You would put your name, but you would put your number down as well.
It would have been right here.
Right here. So
number 62. Oh, that's me.
I was a name, and before I was my name, I was a number. Everybody, you're stripped of your identity, and you're sleep deprived. So like pretty much in the first 4 days reception, the first 4 days, I was pretty much up. I was up for 24 hours my first day. Then like in the next 3 days, I would say I probably got at most 12 hours of sleep within 3 days.
And that's all in.
So you was at that borderline of sleep deprivation, bro.
Yeah, you're borderline sleep deprived. And the thing about the military is that they don't have to give you the sleep consecutively. Like you can get 8 hours of sleep, but nobody said it had to be consecutively. So
you get 2 hours here, you get 2 hours there.
Yeah,
whether you get those 2 hours in is upon yourself.
Yeah, I got there and it was a culture shock. You know, you're sleep deprived, you're hungry, you're cold, depending on when you got there, you're hot. So I went there and it was like,
could you elaborate on how it's a culture shock in that situation?
It's a culture shock because you're not used to it. Like,
you're not used to it.
You think about it, like when think about people that's been to jail, right? The military is a jail, but it's freedom at the same time. You're told your day and your life is dictated 24/7 when especially when you're in basic training. You know, you are told when you can eat, you're told when you can go to sleep, you're told when to do this, when to do that. You have no freedom because their whole thing is they break your way of living to get you to think as a military person. So like it was little things that I took little things for granted, and I appreciated, like being able to get up and go to the refrigerator and get something to drink, or having a shower with curtains, or having like watching TV
to open this refrigerator.
So yeah, because like you don't have
those rights,
anymore.
bro. Yeah.
So I got to the military, you know what I mean? I went through the hardest part, which was basic training. After basic, it's a little bit way more relaxed. You get to your assigned duty station, it's pretty much a job. The turnaround point for me was growing up, I used to love history, US history. I fell in love with it. I've been infatuated with US history for the longest. But everything is history. It's told by the victor. History is told by the victor. So I would never forget 2011, we got the word, 2010, we got the word we're going to Afghanistan to get some. 2011, we're told Osama bin Laden was killed. So we're like, well, what the fuck does that mean for us? We're still going to Afghanistan. Okay. Before we get to Afghanistan, DevGru, a couple of members from DevGru, which is SEAL Team 6, a couple of CIA operatives, a couple of Special Forces operatives, they were on the Chinook and they got shot down in Ghazni province. Ghazni province is where we were going to a province that was close to Ghazni. So I now boots on ground in Afghanistan, September of 2011. It's been 10 years since 9/11 happened. I get there, and my first day, I'm almost blown up. My second day, I ended up shooting somebody. And the next week, which was my 21st birthday, I killed someone. So I'm going around to village and doing what we're supposed to do. And I carried around a picture of the World Trade Center, you know, of 9/11. And like, I would just show the people of Jagatu district of Afghanistan the picture, and they would just look at you like, what the fuck is that?
What do you think this means to me?
No, it's not even that. They know nothing about it.
Which
so,
is, when you see, and the crazy thing is, like, when you go to other places, like other countries, and you really get to talking to their people, they don't know what happens over here in America. They only know what they're told.
If you live in a third world country like Afghanistan, you got to understand parts of Afghanistan are in like they don't have running water. They get their running water from a river, and they don't have technology like how we do. There ain't no TVs. It ain't no microwaves. It's nothing really to run power from. And if they do run power, it's ran from a generator. So a lot of them don't know what a September 11th is. So I'm looking at it. I'm like, yo, all these years, you know, you're told about the people of Afghanistan, the people of Iraq, the Middle Eastern people, they hate the American way of life. Then you get there and you meet some of these people and it's the exact opposite. So it changed the way I looked at a whole lot. Even though I kind of had a feeling already before I deployed, but it solidified it when I got there and I realized, yo, these people just want a stress-free way of life where they're not being told what to do by Americans and they're not being told what to do by the Taliban. So I could never hate these people. So it changed my my mindset of how I am
completely free,
how I am going to war. But it's just that some of these people, they don't want us here and they're just fighting for their homeland. And
you can't be mad.
Long story short, I got to put them in a grave. And
crazy,
unfortunately,
because I always look at it, I will have you die for your country before I die for mine.
And why is that? Why did you take that stance? That's interesting.
Because it's my life or yours. I mean, I'd rather you die for your country than I die for mine. I mean, if one of us got to go, it's gonna be you.
That's true. That is true.
So like, that's point blank period.
Yeah, me getting out of the military, I was 10 times more of the conspiracy theorist than I am now. Than I was when I got in, I should say.
We gotta have to sit down and talk about some stuff, bro.
I mean,
I'm a little bit into it, a little bit. I'm not all the way deep in the conspiracy rabbit hole. I'm a little bit into it.
I don't like to plague people. I don't like to plague people's thoughts. I don't like to I don't like to give my opinion. What I will do for anybody that's listening, I will give you facts. Everything I say from now until I say that's enough can be looked up. It is all factual. Whether you check in the FBI archives, which is public, everything I'm telling you right now is factual. We're on the 20th anniversary of September 11th.
Break it down.
Before we get there, I will break it. I will take you back to before we were born. The fucking 1960s, which I feel like is the worst time to ever be fucking an American. At that time, the president was John F. Kennedy. I'm gonna put this. I'm gonna break this down into shit.
Inside information.
Some of this shit is in the school books, but if you don't pay attention to it, it'll just go over your head. 1960s, John F. Kennedy was president. We had a beef with Russia. Communism versus democracy. The American government, we had nuclear missiles pointed at Turkey. We had nuclear missiles in Turkey pointed at Russia. Russia was like, yo, I don't fuck with that. We ain't about to let America have no fucking nuclear weapons in our backyard pointed at us. Nah, let's look on this map and let's find out who's the closest motherfucker to America that don't like America. Cuba.
Okay.
USSR goes to Cuba. Yo, Fidel, you still don't fuck with America? Nah, I don't fuck with them. Hey, yo, let's put these nuclear missiles in your country. Ain't that America? Think about it.
I think I do remember this in history.
Cuba is only 70 miles off the coast of Florida. So now you start to policy. Yeah, so now we pretty much have the USSR. They have nuclear missiles in Cuba. Now this is gonna start to ring bells to when you was in grammar school. We remember the Bay of Pigs. Remember the Cuban Missile Incident. That shit that they taught us. That's where it stemmed from. So what did America do? America was like, yo, we gotta knock this motherfucking Fidel Castro off. America was trying many different ways to assassinate this dude.
Oh God.
Here's the scary part. This is the part they leave out of
I know where you're going.
Out of the history books.
I know exactly where you're going.
The Joint Chiefs of Staff, CIA, FBI, the Department of Defense, they was like, yo, the only way we can get into fucking Cuba to fuck Fidel Castro up, we got to get the American people on our side. We got to start a war. Now, American people are not just going to be like, yo, we going to war.
Let's go.
It's just cause.
No, we want reason.
Now, what I'm going to tell you, this is all factual. You can go 100%, look this up. You can Google what I'm about to tell you.
He ain't lying because I have
Googled it. If you go on Google, and I put this on the internet all the time. If you go on Google and you type in Operation Northwood, it will come up. Operation Northwood was an operation comprised by the Department of Defense and the Joint Chiefs of Staff to commit terrorist attacks on its own military and civilian people in order to blame Cuba for us to invade
so we can
Cuba.
Go to war. Yep.
Those are called 100%. Those are called false flag operations. Here's the conspiracy part in it. This is not factual. This is what I believe. At that time, Fidel Castro was public enemy number one. And here's the crazy part, why we need to pay attention in history. There was a cell organization within the state of New Jersey that was involved in the assassination of Cuban sports members. It was called Omega 7. They were based out of Union City, New Jersey. That's right in our backyard. They're right in the backyard. But once again, this is these little tidbits are my opinion. I believe once JFK looked at that shit, was like, nigga, I'm not about to harm American people to go to war with Cuba. I'm not doing that. They looked at it, was like, yo, you know what? He not the right fit to run this country. JFK then started talking about those secret societies that are, running America behind the scenes. And he was like, yo, kill this nigga.
Yep.
Who takes over the presidency? Lyndon B. Johnson. Mind you, at this time, JFK wanted to increase the peace in the Middle East. At that time, Afghanistan wasn't the way it is now. Women were able to dress however they wanted to dress. Nothing crazy, but they didn't have to wear the coverings like they wanted to
do now. Yeah.
I'm about to break it down just a little bit further. Lyndon B. Johnson became the president, we had this thing called the Gulf of Tonkin incident. The Gulf of Tonkin incident was Admiral said, "Hey, yo, we just got attacked by 2 Vietnamese ships." What? Fuck it, let's go to war with these motherfuckers. We entered Vietnam. Years later, it comes to find out that incident never happened. So that's a false flag operation. The same type of operation that the Joint Chiefs of Staffs wanted to do to attack Cuba, we did it with Vietnam. So when people start to tell me 9/11 couldn't have been an inside job because America would never do it, they did it before.
See, but there's a lot of things. But see, there's a lot of things about 9/11 that I don't think people pay attention to, because you can literally research it. I had a college teacher that didn't tell us. She didn't tell us nothing. She gave us the information. It was like, go look at it for yourself. There are coordinates at the what is that damn building? Not the White House, the other one.
Pentagon?
The Pentagon with the big hole in it. There's coroners there saying look like somebody backed up a truck and dumped some metal there. There's firefighters in the World Trade Centers in the basement on the phone with their wives, and I'm pretty sure you can still find a conversation telling their wives it sounds like bombs are going off around them. Bro, there's a lot of stuff there. You got to remember, the Twin Towers was bombed in what, the 80s?
90s.
90s. It didn't do nothing. And then you got to also remember, because me and my girl was watching Malice in the Palace, and they show you how the demolition team knocked down the Malice in the Palace. And that building kind of fell like the Twin Towers fell.
All of them do. It's called the controlled demolition. But I'll give you a little tidbits. Like, now this is where my opinion comes in with a little bit of fact. You have to remember, Osama bin Laden is not from Afghanistan. That's
no, he's not. He was from
Saudi Arabia, and he was a very rich man.
Yes, he was.
Saddam Hussein, wealthy guy. Those two didn't even like each other. Honestly.
Right.
They've always been assets to America. We funded Iraq to fight Iran. We funded Al-Qaeda to fight off Soviet Russia.
See, what people also don't know is that Osama bin Laden family was on a plane out of the United States while the Twin Towers was burning.
That is, it's been said, it hasn't been fact proven.
Nah, bro.
It's been allegations that the bin Laden's family was the only family to leave the United States. That you'll never be able to confirm or deny it, because if somebody was to confirm it, they'll be dead before you can put the truth out. So
see, and that takes me back. We getting a little off topic, but that takes me back why the United States has a need for whistleblowers, bro. We have a need for whistleblowers, and people don't want to understand it. I say that, people look at me crazy like, nah, nigga, United States is not transparent with us. They are not.
Yeah, but
the government is not transparent with us, bro.
We're gonna get in trouble for this one.
No, I won't. You know, listen, at the end of the day,
I know we don't.
At the end of the day, listen, I did what I did. I served my served my country. I did my country's dirty work. I got the blood of Afghans and Americans on my hand because I've lost friends as well. So
it's tough.
Whether they like what I'm saying or not, at the end of the day, they won. You know?
Yeah.
I did some shit I can never take back. I did some shit I'm not proud of.
Yep.
I've had to deal with the emotional distress of it. I had to deal with the personal, like, morally certain things. Yeah, it's not kosher. I dealt with it, but it's shit that needed to be I felt like me doing it opened my eyes to a lot. So and I'm not knocking it. My thing is, if America really wanted my respect, they'd be like, hey, yo, listen, man, we about to go fuck these motherfuckers up to take what we want. I'd have felt way better than that, but don't feed me no bullshit.
Right, and I think that's the key, bro. I think Americans will be more inclined to either support or even still disagree. If you guys just keep it real, bro, just tell us what the fuck you guys are doing. Like, tell us what's going on. Be transparent.
Listen, it ain't right,
I understand
right,
some of us might not like it. I understand it. Some of us might not like it, or the majority of us might not like it. But if you want respect, you want us to you want to get things done, and you want the civilians on your side, yo, you need to be transparent with us. And that's all it takes. All it takes is for you guys to tell us what's going on and keep it real with us. If you want to go to war with this place because they're a threat and you need to take them out, then tell us that. Tell us that. Keep it real. Tell us the facts.
Yeah. It might not be desired, but like, listen, motherfuckers, we gotta knock these motherfuckers off the boat. So whether you like it or not, we're gonna do it anyway. And I'm like, all right, well, you're right. But that was my perception outside when I got back from war.
So let's go, before I ask you the next question, what are your thoughts on what's going on in Afghanistan now with the Taliban taking back over?
You gonna really see a terrorist attack. You're gonna see one now.
We gonna see now.
This time you could blame the Taliban because you got to think about it. We were there for 20 years. 20 years, and now we gave it back to the Afghan army, who was pretty much overran by the Taliban. We left them with decent weaponry, with our equipment.
Yeah.
And now we're taking refugees. If you thought motherfuckers was invading our homeland, it's way easier to do it now.
Yes, it is.
You know the Taliban.
You ain't got no
like?
vet. Yeah, they look just like the Afghans. Like,
can you tell them apart?
No, you cannot.
So I listen. It sucks. I wish they didn't get overran by the Taliban, but at the same time, you know, I can't house any refugees when I still got people here without shoes on their feet.
Right, that's true.
I can't take care of an Afghan family when I got
families homeless on my street
down the street who's struggling with 3 kids and just struggling to put food in her kids' belly.
That's 100% true.
I can't help them.
That's 100% true. But all other civilians look for America. You got to accept them. You got to take them in. Like how? We can't barely do for ourselves. We could barely do for ourselves.
He said,
I couldn't be president. We got to take them. I ain't got to do a goddamn thing.
Exactly. I'm not taking them. I don't care whether they ruin relationships or not. I'm not taking them.
Yeah, like I got people
stuff here to do.
I got people here that's hungry.
Right. And then on top of that, you did say something that's very important. Like how do you tell the difference? And that's been the biggest conversation about people coming over our borders is how can you tell if they're going to be good or bad? You can't. You don't know if one of them is going to put the vest on and run up in a mall.
Only way you can
kids
tell,
and women. Like
only way you can tell if a person is Taliban is when they do something that's Taliban related. So you'll know after the fact.
You won't know before, right?
Yeah, you won't know before.
Do you think
taking away magnesium?
Do you think America? Because I think, in my personal opinion, but you can speak more to it because you're in the army. I don't think our army can be fucked with. I'm sorry, I say that shit all the time. I think America got some shit that probably nobody has seen yet, and they just waiting for some shit to pop over where somebody got the upper hand, and they can just, all right, pull it out. Let them see the laser for 200,000 miles. Let them see the laser.
For the most part, our military is probably the deadliest in the world. But the thing about it is that you have other conventional militaries that can do damage. We're not the only
like Russia's military.
China, we'll fuck China up.
Yeah, we would, but they got boots on the ground, bro.
But they have us. They
got boots on the ground. They got boots on the ground.
We have them in firepower. They have us in numbers. But you know,
like the Taliban said something. Taliban said we'll keep coming. We won't stop even in death. Nah, that's the Chinese. They keep coming because there's so many of them, bro.
You have places that have conventional armies. You know, we're just hella advanced, and we just got a whole bunch of motherfuckers in the military that don't give a fuck.
You don't give a fuck, bro. Because most of you guys, a lot of them come from the hoods too, bro. A lot of them don't want to sit in the hoods and do the same thing over, so they get out and do.
The military is the only place where you can have a nigga from Compton, a member of the Ku Klux Klan, a Threenie, Blood, Crip, Mexican mafia, motherfucker from New Mexico that hate each other but will fuck you up in the same breath.
Same breath, right?
Yeah, they would hate each other back in the United States. Would be a band of brothers overseas.
Yeah, because that's what you need. You can't be divided over there, or you're gonna get your whole squad killed.
Yeah,
you gotta be together.
Because I've definitely deployed with some motherfuckers that don't like black people, that don't like white people, that don't like Spanish people. When we over there,
it ain't about it's not about
what you look like. We gonna rock with each other until we got to go back home.
Because you know why? It's because them niggas' lives are on the line.
Yeah.
And when you put a nigga life on the line, he don't care who got his back. That's the point. You don't care if I'm white and I got your back, if I protect you. I'll tell you this. Me and Tyrone went to New York one year. And we got caught in like a stampede. I mean, literally, we almost died. Like literally, we could have fell, got stomped the fuck out. It was people jumping on people's head. Crazy. It was this white guy in front of us. He had 2 daughters. He couldn't keep both his daughters.
I remember that.
I grabbed his daughter, like, bro, I'm right behind you. Go, I got her. Like, and she's scared as shit. She don't know me, but it's hella black people around us going crazy, bro. Crazy. And in that moment, you gotta literally keep you cool and like, yo, I gotta worry about me, Tbrown, his mom, and now this little girl. Now I got another person on my hands I got to worry about. So people don't understand like the chaos that can happen in such little moments and us not sticking together and helping each other. Because we could have got out that moment if we all just took our time.
Pro tip for our viewers, because he brought up this moment, for the near future, because I know it's coming. For those who want to see the ball drop, stay away from Central Park.
Yeah, don't go
stay
Central
away
Park,
from
bro.
Central Park.
I don't go to New York to see no ball drop, man.
Nah, it's not worth it, bro.
That
you love your
life.
I can look at my watch and like, oh, shit,
you have a better chance surviving in Afghanistan than you do in Central Park when the ball drop, bro.
I don't know. Those are pretty level contenders.
Yes, because people in New York, they already don't care. Like, you got to take it. They already high up on I don't care. And then when they get the liquor in their system and it's New Year's,
it amps it up, man.
So no, we're not even going to talk about what other drugs that they could potentially be on.
Yeah,
we're not even going to talk about that.
So let me ask you, Mark. So describe how you felt coming home from combat. Like, not the being shot part, but just how you felt coming home from being in Afghanistan for 5 years. For how long was you over there?
I was there for 7 months. I was supposed to be there for a year, but I ended up getting shot my 7th month there. So when I came back, bro, it was another culture shock, because I left as, a military man to go to war. I got to war. I had a combat mind state to get sent back on a stretcher, and still with that combat mind state, I'm like, it threw me for a loop. That was a mental mind fuck. And not only that, I isolated myself, because like me living that lifestyle, as long as I lived, it
changed you.
It changed me. So like, you remember, I used to always dance. I don't dance anymore.
I was gonna ask you that too, man. I was gonna ask you that for real.
I haven't danced. I haven't taught in years. I haven't battled even longer. I don't dance anymore.
And P.S. Jai was a monster. I gotta call you by Jai when I talk about your dance career. I gotta call you by Jai.
That was my shit.
Coming from a man that has battled you, man, like for real, that hurts a little bit to hear you say that.
Y'all know, like dancing was my life, but
but things change your life, bro.
Once I
came back, like, yo, we love it. Like how ballers out here, that was like ballers life. Dance was life to us. It still is to me. I ain't let it go.
Like, I got don't get me wrong. Like, I can still catch a beat, but it's like the passion, it died.
It ain't there no more.
Yeah, it ain't there no more.
I mean, when you're killing people, I don't think you want to dance while you're shooting them. So it's like, why would you need that?
I'm sorry.
You replaced it with skill. That's what I would say. I would say you replaced it with skill.
Bro, it was just like, yo, I was just.
You was doing
I got it. I don't flip anymore either.
You was running off walls. You was parkour before parkour was popping, bro.
I wasn't really. I'm not into it anymore. Like, it just changed. It just changed my identity. Changed so much, bro. I felt like, I went through like kind of like an identity crisis, like trying to figure out,
who you were,
who am I? Because I was stripped of my identity.
I was just about to say, you got stripped, remade. And then you had to go back into a life. Then you had to go back into a life where what they stripped you from, you need it back.
Pretty much.
I don't need to let him talk because I know where he's going. I want to let him know that I can feel. But see, it's something. But that's fine, because now they feel it that I feel it. They feel that he feel it, but I know what he feels. So by me cutting him off and letting him know and finishing his sentence, people can understand that I can identify what he's going through without me having to go through it.
It was just like, yo, I came back, and that one pond of water that always seemed so graceful just seemed like a puddle to me. So, I just didn't really. It was just I just went through an identity crisis. I didn't know what I enjoyed doing anymore, because like it was like another thing that kind of fucked me up was like, yo, you got to remember when I left. That whole era when I left, Jersey City was lit as shit.
Yes, it was.
Oh God,
Jersey City was lit as shit, and I missed all of it.
And it wasn't a killing place. It wasn't like it is now. It wasn't that many people.
So I'm like,
low key, you remember, popping, especially with the dancing wave that came out around that too, yo.
Like when Terrace Ballroom, Robert Street,
Webster
Hall, when all that was popping, I was gone.
Erie Street.
I caught Erie. Like I was here for Grace Hall. But it was a lot of parties that I missed from 2010
I'm mad I missed
Well,
Grace
29 all the way to 2013.
Mm-hmm.
Even college, like when niggas went off to college, being in Hudson, Rutgers,
for real.
Willie P. I missed all of that.
Willie P. I've always wanted to go to a Willie P party, man.
I missed all of it, bro. I missed all of it. So when I came back, everybody done clicked up with other people. Certain people ain't around no more. This don't happen. This don't change. This, and I'm like, damn, I'm still stuck in 2008, and niggas is living in 2013. Like I'm coming back, like, yo, let's go do this. Like, nigga, don't do that no more, man. So I'm like, well, fuck. After a while, I just didn't really fit in.
Yeah.
So when I didn't fit in, I'm like, well, okay. All right. Well,
what's next?
I'm gonna go do this, and I'll go do that. It's just like, you know, so a lot changed, and I was like, yeah, you know what? I gotta find a life for myself outside of the military and something that I enjoy, where I can just, you know, do what I gotta do just to survive and to make myself happy. You know what I mean? I don't live that military life anymore. That is over. I don't live that dancing lifestyle where everything was, you know, all fun and home.
Fun and games, yeah.
I'm past that. Everybody got their own clique of friends. I need to find out where do I belong.
Good for you.
So, and I found a lot of that within riding motorcycles, because I did start riding motorcycles, and that was my thing. That was my out right there. Hell, I was riding today. I'm riding. When I was
you text me,
I was riding.
Bro, any day it's a beautiful day out. A person that owns a motorcycle is on a motorcycle.
Yeah,
I have learned that from living out here in Iowa. Because as soon as it's like 75 degrees or better, or like a nice warm 60, 65, they're like, oh, I'm busting out the bike today. See, like how you just said, I'm on that bike today. They don't say I'm riding my motorcycle. They say I'm on my bike. When people were first saying that to me, I'm like, oh, you going for a bicycle ride? No, brother. I'm going for a motorcycle.
I need that two-wheel therapy, baby. So that was my thing, man. But it was like coming out of the military, dog. I was just
that transition.
I just felt like I ride a 2007 Gixxer 1000.
Oh, I feel that.
So it was just like, yo, that transition, that shit did damage, and it was just like, all right, where do I fit in?
So let's get on the lighter side of the Army. What were some of the fun things you and your friends did together when over there in Afghanistan?
Afghanistan, man. I'll tell you, like, this one time we really connected with the Afghan people that worked on our base. Wintertime, people gotta understand, Afghanistan is cold. Iraq is hot.
Okay.
So it snows. They get weather just like New Jersey, just a little bit more extreme. It snows. We had a fucking blizzard. And you know, people fuck around in the snow, you know, snowball fight.
Right, of course.
So we used to see we used to see the Afghan security guards. We used to like make snowballs and throw it at them, you know, just lighten the mood. It was this one dude. He had to be all but like 5'4.5". This dude can roll and pack a snowball that if he hits you, it felt like you got hit with a baseball.
Yes.
Crazy. He packed that joint tight.
He was deadly. He was deadly quick with it and deadly accurate. So he was bing, bing, binging us. And we're like, yo, when we catch this nigga, bro, we tossed him in the snow. So man, we was rolling around through the base in our trucks, and I popped the hatch and I started throwing mad snowballs at the Afghan security. So they came, they went back to their side of the base. And I guess they came up with the idea that they was gonna fuck with us when we went to the towers to pull security. So when they came around to give their people food, we opened the door and no motherfuckers started throwing snowballs. So eventually it turned into the United States versus Afghanistan and a snowball. Snowball fight, throwing motherfuckers in like piles of snow, shoveling snow on people.
That's awesome.
Nice.
So, bro, it was like, yo, we was fucking each other up the whole. I know if the Taliban was looking, they're like, yo, what the fuck are they doing? Why are they having so much fun?
Do you see them over there? Do you see them?
Why are they having so much fun? Yo, bro,
that's beautiful.
Shoot a rocket over there,
bro. We pretty much like for the whole
having fun for your
exactly.
That's like a game
about it.
That was the Olympics. That was the Snow Olympics.
We don't speak. God. We don't speak. What's the language? We don't speak Pashto. We don't speak Pashto or Pashtunwali. They don't speak English. But we had so it turned into wrestling matches, bro. We was wrestling with each other, slamming each other, choking each other out, throwing snow at people. Then like when the sun started to set and it got really cold, we would we used to have to pull tower guard. Some of the guards they'd come like, hey, you me Andawal, that means friend. You me Andawal, they'll come, they'll give you halal food, and they'll give you halal food and a fucking platter that's fucking big. So I pulled security for 6 hours that night with a guy in a tower, and it was cool. Like, we don't understand each other, we don't talk, but he was sharing his food with me. I was sharing my soda with him. He would like go to his they all, most of the guys that were security, they all knew me because like at 5 a.m, I would wake them up to let them pray. I usually would set my alarm to wake me up so I can wake them up to pray.
Oh, that's cool.
And
that's love right there, yo.
Yeah, if they would eat something that they don't know what it is, like people would give them food, like American food. And like my stepfather is Muslim, so I'd be sitting in there. I'm like,
oh, yo, let them.
I'd be like, yo, Gamali. I'm like, Gamali. No. He's like, no halal. I'm like, no halal. Like he'd be having like somebody would give him Slim Jims.
So that's the code. Yeah. Oh, he can't.
I'm like, no. I'm like, no. That's no halal. He's like, no, it's no halal. I'm like, nah, you can't eat it. He's like, well, make it like McKnight, you me and the one. This is no halal. He'll give it to me. I'm like, yo, what I'll do is I'll get turkey products, and I'll bring you the turkey products. I'm like, listen, if you see TURKEY halal, PORK no halal. So I would like kind of teach them American words like gelatin, pork, and stuff like that. I'm like, don't eat it, and I'm like, can't eat this, and I just made a good rapport with a lot of them.
That's love right there, and I'm glad you brought that up because that's what we basically bringing up today.
Yeah,
like let everybody know the unity and everything, and that's beautiful. You looking out, and then you letting everybody know.
You gotta
that is the point of the podcast.
Some of them are fighting the same war that we're fighting. Some of them don't like the Taliban either. So, listen, the enemy of my enemy.
The enemy of my enemy is my friend. For real, yo.
Yo, so. But we had some good times, man. Like they would be able to get stuff that we couldn't get. Afghan Kush is a hell of a thing over there. I heard. I could get things.
You got some connections.
Hey, I have no connections. I was able to get.
Asking the detective for connections.
I was able to. I don't live that life, man. I don't live that.
Nah, I'm playing.
I would be able to get them things that they couldn't get, like King magazine, Maximum magazines, like Bang Bros, all type. They couldn't get that shit, but I
get you the porn, and you give me.
I got you, bro.
Like as long as you keep that food covered, they could get cigarettes real good. And at that time, I used to smoke cigarettes, and they could get some cigarettes, man. Like you would run out of cigarettes, you would bring them a King magazine. Them motherfuckers would bring you a carton of cigarettes, man. They'd bring you a carton of cigarettes. They'd bring you halal food. If you needed it, they was gonna get it.
I'd have been in it for the food, man. Yeah. What was your favorite dish? What was your favorite dish that they were?
The chicken, the falafel, the lamb, the mix, all of that over the rice, the pita bread, all that. I will say this: Afghan soda is by far the best fucking soda you'll ever have in your life.
Yeah, because they don't have all the nasty stuff we put in our soda.
All it is carbonated water, a flavoring, and sugarcane. So like Fanta, Fanta strawberry, bro, that Afghan version, dog.
I can imagine though, because we put so much stuff in our
bro,
put so much products in our stuff over here. It ain't funny, man. Like we gotta stop doing that.
That grape Afghan Fanta, nigga, what? Bruh. I pay $1 for a little can of that.
It had to be good.
Yo,
I'll be down for it.
So let me ask, what all of that, the fun moments, the being blown up, being shot, which we're gonna get a little bit more into you being shot a little later. how do you think the military affected your life? You touched on it a little bit, but go a little bit more in depth on it.
I would say so it made me value life a little more because April 23rd of 2012, I got shot in the leg. I lost 2.5 pints of blood, 1.5 inch of bone in my left leg. I pretty much I was a half pint of blood
away from dying,
from going brain dead.
Brain dead.
So
crazy.
Yeah, I remember when I heard it, like when it came back and like your family found out before you got back, and Lance told me, I was like, nah, bro. I was outside your house. I don't know if you remember the day you got back. I was outside your house.
Yeah. That's the day I pulled up in a taxi, but
yeah, and they brought you upstairs so we didn't get to see you.
Yeah, but it was like that day it was like I made my peace with my higher power, and it's a lot of that day I don't remember because I did slip in and out of consciousness.
Yeah.
But it made me appreciate life way more than what I did before because going there I wasn't in the right state of mind going there.
Yeah.
But shit happens. I survived it, and it makes me value life more because me on the police side of things, I see people that don't make it. I hear the screams of mothers that got told, yo, your son and your daughter's not coming home. I'm there when people take their last breaths. I'm there when people commit acts of murder and they throw their whole lives away. So it was like, listen, I'm thankful that I got a second chance after doing what I did and being in that environment because it's not promised. Tomorrow's not promised. And speaking of which, I meant to give a shout out. I don't know if his family will ever hear this. I don't know. I've tried to reach his family. I definitely want to give a shout out to Private First Class Leroy Durandi. Leroy Durandi, he was a kid that went to Dickinson High School. I deployed with him. Leroy and Specialist Jacobs, they died a month later after I got shot. And
rest in peace.
He died a hero. He died, and the details to his death are horrendous. I won't get into details with those, but if his family ever watched this, listen, I'm a Jersey City cop. I would love to shake y'all hand and let y'all know what type of man that y'all raised. But I wish he was here and he got a second chance at life. But definitely shout out to Leroy and Jacobs.
If any of you guys, could get in touch or send them that clip, do make it happen, bro, because they are brothers in there, man. They do have love for each other, and he wasn't able to be there by their side, when they was going through what they was going through because he was going through some of his own. So if we can make it happen, let's make it happen.
That one casualty hit me hard because I remember meeting him. They called him Jersey Shore, and he was one of the drivers, the truck drivers, and they had to bring stuff to our base. So I met him, we laughed, we talked about Ferris versus Dickinson, how we used to be in Jersey City. Like we vibed. Cool brother, cool white guy, man. My brother. So after I met him, a week later, I got shot.
Crazy.
I got shot. I came back to the United States. I remember I was on convalescent leave. I did 2 weeks in Jersey. I did 1 week in Alabama to see my dad's side of the family. And I remember logging into my Facebook to a message that, yo, Jersey Shore died. And I'm like, how?
Again, rest in peace, man.
He was like, yo, I'm going to send you something. This is what happened. And I read that message and I'm like, fuck. Damn.
Yeah, it's got to take a toll.
I wish I could have been there. I wish. Hey, I wouldn't have been able to make a difference, but you better believe it'd have been a lot of revenge being taken. But he didn't make it. So
damn, bro.
Yeah, and he's a Jersey City native.
I got a question.
Yeah, it's always sad when when soldiers fall, But I mean, it's a part of war on both ends. But you guys do build relationships with each other, man. I always hear these stories because I got a lot of friends. You're not even the only one that I have in the Army. So it's like when you guys come back with these stories of
hold that thought because I got to say something about that. What you about to say, Ty?
I was about to say real quick, did you get any awards? Like since you had got shot and everything, I know they got like one that's called a Purple Heart.
I got a Purple Heart. I received a Purple Heart. I was supposed to receive another award. Political shit happened. I didn't get it. I'm just gonna leave it at that.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as other people in the military, we definitely do got some, like my boy Nate, Nate and Glenn.
Glenn, yeah.
Yo, listen, those are my brothers, man. Crazy part about it, I replaced Glenn in the base that he was at. I don't know if you know Levi.
I know Levi.
Levi was at that base first, I believe. Then Levi's unit was there. When it was time for Levi's unit to leave, Glenn unit replaced their unit for a year. And when Glenn unit was about to leave, I replaced Glenn unit. So it was just weird how that happened.
Yeah.
Then Nate, he deployed at the end. And I think Nate went to Iraq, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I think Nate went to Iraq.
Is he back now too?
Yeah. Nate lives in Arizona. And Glenn's back. I'm in a group chat with them, and all we do is bullshit with each other, man. Those are my brothers.
Yeah, I always catch y'all too. I always catch you and Glenn's conversation on Facebook, so I always knew you guys had a little bond in the way you guys talk about.
Glenn, my man. Nate, that's my man. Pots and Pans.
That's
Levi,
man.
those, all of it, because we had to keep each other in good spirits when it was our time to go to war. So we all went different.
You really need that.
We all went at different times. So I remember when Glenn was deployed during the holiday times, I hit him up like, yo, my man, what you doing, bro? I'm just calling, make sure you in good spirits and everything like that. Hurry up, do your mission so I can come there and show you how to really get down. And you know what I mean? We just kept each other in good spirits. And it wasn't just us, you had me, Glenn, Jared, Nate,
Jared was
Levi.
supposed to go to the Navy with me. And
he Levi
left me
Walt,
by myself.
You had Walt. Walt ended up going. Abe went. Adrian Bowie. He had went to the Army. It was a shitload of people.
There was another guy in our class too that went to school with us that went to the Army. But he wound up getting arrested a couple of years ago.
Yo, it was a lot of us. A lot of us around that time. We all crossed each other past. A lot of us ended up going to the military and deploying.
I forget the dude's name, but he got arrested for killing his girlfriend. But he went to school with us and he was in the Army.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. Light skinned Joker.
Yeah.
I know exactly who you're talking about.
I forget his name, but yeah. Which was shocked. Yeah, it was
his
shocked.
His sister, him and I think Nate his sister and Nate went back and forth. They had words because of something Nate said.
Oh, about the incident?
Yeah. I can't remember her fucking name or his name, but
yeah, it was like
it was like a good 15 of us between Lincoln, Ferris, and Snyder that ended up getting deployed all around the same time.
Same time?
Yeah.
Which is cool because you got people there that and that can help you in the long run.
Yeah, so it was like pretty much we all kept each other in good spirits. So.
Yeah, that's good. That's good that you have people there.
Definitely.
It's good that you have people there to help you get through this shit. So what did you learn about yourself, like through all the time in Afghanistan, the deployment, the being stripped of who you was, trying to find a new identity? What did you learn about yourself?
The human body and mind can go through a lot of shit before it breaks.
Mm-hmm. That's a great answer, bro. That is
That's funny you say that because I hear that a lot too.
Yes.
I hear that answer a lot.
Yes.
Because all the time.
You never know how much your body can take until it goes through it.
Until you break. You don't and like to be honest with you, I still don't know my limit because even then I didn't fold, I didn't break.
My man's going Super Saiyan 5 out here already.
Yeah.
You don't even know it.
So I learned about myself. I'm like, yo, it's a lot of shit that if you really put your mind to it, the human body works in tremendous ways. Things that I didn't think I could do. I did it like to literally watch bullets land in front of you and just act like that shit does not matter is fucking insane.
Yeah, that is insane.
I've done it multiple times.
I mean, I'm pretty sure anybody that's over there getting to fight, because I still watch, U.S. Army firefights, the ones that get caught on camera and stuff. And you guys be getting it in over there. I did watch one funny video before I move on to the next question. It was the Taliban, and they had a dummy on a stick. I don't know if you've seen the video.
Right.
They was poking the dummy at, and I don't know if it was Afghanistan or United States, but whoever was shooting at the dummy, and they was dying laughing. and then they would stick it out again, and somebody would shoot at it, and they die laughing. So that was funny,
usually the Taliban. That's usually the Taliban.
That was the Taliban, but that shit was funny.
They do funny shit, but it is what it is.
That shit was funny. I'm like, ain't no way in hell you niggas are in war being shot at, and you think to grab a dummy and just sit here laughing while the dummy is getting shot at. So
you find
little side note.
You find ways to keep yourself entertained.
Yeah. So if there's one thing you could tell civilians that they or is it one thing you wish civilians understood about the military that they don't, what is it?
My advice, if you want to go pursue that career, know what it is you're getting into and research everything before you enlist. And I always tell people this: it takes a very, very, very special type of stupid to enlist in the military and take a job like I did. And why do I say that? You going into the military, you don't know if you're gonna like it. You don't know. I know people be like, yeah, I think I'll like it. You think because of what you think you know. You don't know if you're gonna like it.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know. I always tell people, take a job in the military that you can apply to civilian lifestyle, medical, law, aviation, mechanical. Just in case you don't like it, you can leave with a particular set of skills where you can take to Boeing, you can take to a law firm, you can take to a hospital, you can take into have a specific set of skill.
He said, get on your Liam Neeson, guys. Be like Liam Neeson.
I have a particular set of skills, and that's pretty much running and gunning. But there isn't a job where that's a requirement. Even with the police, you don't need to do that to be a police officer.
Yeah.
So I came back, and even then you don't need that. I came out here with my resume that is only fit to be a mercenary. Like, hey, I can shoot, I can blow stuff up, I can operate under pressure. I try to look for a job at a dealership. They look at that like that has nothing to do with being in a dealership. It doesn't. So take something where you can apply it to regular day living. That would be my biggest piece of advice.
Buy a car
That's
from
good
Mark.
advice. That's good advice because, like you said, a lot of people do go into the military. A lot of people do go into the military thinking that they'll make it through or they'll figure it out, and it ain't built for it. And Mark ain't telling you guys you ain't built for it, but I'm gonna tell you guys ain't built for it. It takes a special type of person.
To be
an infantryman in that field, it takes a special kind of stupid.
I always say. Based on that statement right there, that special kind of stupid. Going looking back, were you that special kind of stupid?
He did say he was. He said like me. He looked stupid like me. He did say that.
Yeah.
You gotta admit it. You gotta admit it.
The fucked up part about it is if I can do it all over again, I would do it the same way.
Yeah. Yeah. I 100% agree.
It takes a special kind of stupid. Like, listen, as much I'm good at what I was good at what I did. And if I could turn back the hands of time, if I couldn't have been a pilot and still knowing what I know now about having a set of skill, I would still go back and be an infantryman. Yeah, I would still do it. So, like I said, it takes a special kind of stupid, man.
So what is one thing you miss and one thing you don't miss about being in the Army?
One thing I miss is the camaraderie and the badassery of my job. Like, it's dope as hell where you can roll up in the truck, jump out.
Say it one more time. Say it one more time for me, badassery. Say it one more time.
Camaraderie and badassery. So
there you go. That sounded so poetic just now.
Basically what that means, like at any point in time, me being an infantryman, I can jump up in the turret, whether it's like me using the automatic grenade launcher, the 50 cal, the missiles. I can do what I got to do. I can jump out of the truck, get 4 of my guys. We can run up, clear a house, clear a room, clear a building, set charges, throw grenades,
level the building, build it back up again.
In other words, fuck shit up and leave. I miss that aspect of it. I miss the cool look, the camo.
Have you ever walked away from an explosion in slow motion?
Yeah. No.
He's saying slow motion like movies are real. Like movies are real.
But I miss the badassery. I miss the combat, the adrenaline rush. What I don't miss about the Army is everything I just mentioned.
The bullets.
Everything I just mentioned is.
He said I miss
the badass and karate, but I don't miss that badass karate. No, it's totally understandable. If you don't understand that, then you just leave.
The reason why I say I don't miss it is because as much as I love doing my job, somebody's life had to pay.
Yeah.
And I'm not a violent person. I take life serious. And I always say this: the second you take a life, a part of you dies with them, which is your innocence. It's the same thing as when you lose your virginity. So sometimes you have to deal with it, whether it's morally right for you to do that, and you have to deal with it. Like you just put somebody in the box, you took away somebody's son, brother, father, mother, daughter, child. So I don't miss that aspect of it. I like the fact that I was able to do it, but I don't miss it.
Yeah. So when I was young, me and Tbrown had this friend named Mark, and Mark came from the. Mark was in the Army. Mark spent some time in the Army.
Same way. Yeah.
And he told us a story. He told a story, and I tell the story real quick. So he said that he was on patrol. It was him and his little squad, and they walked up to like a bar or a restaurant, and they stand there trying to get something to eat. Blah blah. They doing whatever they was, and he said he sees this lady in a corner, and she's sweating bullets.
Nah, you said it wrong. They weren't in the bar.
I said they were in somewhere. They were in some type of place. I said it was a bar or restaurant. They were in some type of place.
I said they were in a bar. Nah,
I said bar or restaurant.
He was on. They were.
Yeah, they were in some type of place.
Doing recon search,
and it was a lady there. Yeah, it was a lady there, and she was sweating her ass off. And he said I couldn't take my eyes off her. He said I couldn't. He said something in my body just told me that she was going to do something. He said I could not take my eyes off her. He said a few seconds later she went to lift up, and he said I popped her. He said I had to drop her. I had to do it. And he told that story. And he's like, yo, he tells it the
like
same way you tell it. Like it's either
her life or
mine. Yeah. And you're going to die for your country before I die for mine.
Yeah, so that's like the things I don't miss about it. I don't miss doing a job because that shit brought nightmares. That shit brought PTSD out the ass. So
and that shit is real. That shit is real. People don't understand it, but that is real in soldiers that come back.
Like I will say this: all the bad arassery that you do comes with a price.
Yes.
And that price is your sanity.
Yes, we're gonna get a little bit more into the mental aspect of the Army with another guest that comes on because he suffers from PTSD. Okay. Yeah, he suffers from PTSD from the Army. So
we all do.
So if you want to talk about it on and you can, but
I'm gonna lead it.
Yeah, okay. I'm gonna definitely get into him because you could literally tell just by looking at him, like his experience changed his life. But he's a cool dude. He works his ass off. He's just trying to get to a place where he's stable in life and he could just enjoy it without his mental bothering him. So
I understand it.
So let's get to the shot. All right. I just want to know what you thought in the moment of being shot. The moment after the shooting stopped, and the moment right before you went into surgery. What were you thinking in those 3 moments?
So we got ambushed, and pretty much my team got split up, and we were on 2 different sides of cover. I was on a slope, and at the time I was dismounted. I was a machine gunner dismounted. I set my gun down to engage the enemy. I looked down my scope. I didn't see anything. And I looked back where the other team was. They were fucking being pinned down. So I'm like, yo, I think these guys, I had to fix myself to try to get a better position of where these guys were. I moved and I looked down my scope again. All right, these guys are in a tree line, which is about 4 football fields away. So I am now laying down suppressive fire so these guys can run their asses from that side to my side. With me doing that, it exposes my position because now you can see the dust kicking up where I'm shooting from. As I'm doing that, they started shooting at me and the bullets are starting to land all around me. And I'm like, I'm going to get hit. I know it. I'm going to get hit. But I'm halfway behind a building and I'm laying on the ground. So I'm like, if I get hit, it's probably not going to be fatal. It's going to hurt, but if he's going to hit me, he's either going to hit me in the arm or he's going to graze the top of my helmet because I'm kind of like, you see how this right here stops, like how this, like my camera's cut off. So if I'm behind the wall, I'm literally like this. So all he has is my head and my arm, and a piece of my leg because I had to prop my leg out. And the motherfucker hit me in the leg. I didn't know. I was shot. So I knew my leg was broken. I just didn't know how it happened. I thought when somebody ran past me, they stepped on my leg by accident, and that's what broke it. So I'm still, I look down, I'm like, oh shit. I let my AG, I was like, yo, man, I don't know what the fuck happened, but my leg's broken. And he was like, how the fuck did that happen? I'm like, I don't know. I'm still shooting at these motherfuckers. I end up popping somebody. And after a while, I remember it was hard to breathe. Like my mouth got really dry and I got pulled off the gun. My leg twisted in 2 different directions. I felt the shock of my, like the pain, but I was still high on adrenaline.
You felt it all now.
Yeah, I was starting to feel it and I was high on adrenaline. Then they pulled me by my vest, sat me up against the wall. They're like, yo, what the fuck happened to you? Like, how'd your leg get broken? He was like, oh shit, yo, Mac's been shot. So when they said that Mac has been shot, I'm like, I got shot? When the fuck we got?
He was like gangsta in the boondocks.
He started rewinding it like, yeah, it was right at this moment.
I'm like, when the fuck did I get? I'm like, was I there when I got shot? Because I don't remember this shit.
When did this go down?
I freaked the fuck out. I panicked. I slipped in and out of shock. And I ended up getting carried from one side of this village to the other side. It was the worst.
Were you the only one that got hit in that scenario?
No. So after I got pulled off the gun, the AG, the alternative, the assistant gunner, he got shot as well.
Oh, man.
And his was a flesh wound, mine was a bone wound, and I ended up getting carted off. It hurt like hell. I got thrown on a helicopter.
Imagine.
I pretty much passed the hell out, and I kept waking. I kept going in and out of shock. Like I'm 2.5 pints dry.
Yeah.
And 3 pints renders you brain dead, pretty much fucking unconscious. So I'm just trying to fucking stay alive. It's like if you ever been really sleepy and you're trying your hardest to fight in your sleep. That's what
Tbrown know what you're talking about.
That's pretty much what coming close to death feels like. It's like no matter how hard, no matter how hard you try to stay awake, your body won't let you. Like
it's gotta be scary in that moment.
To fight it is what you're telling me right now.
Once you figured it out, like, oh, I'm shot, and you started going into shock. I think that was your body, because I think if they never told you got shot, you probably would have still been on your gun shooting it.
At that moment, when I realized what it was, the totality of the situation, the severity of it, I accepted it.
Mm.
I ain't mad at you.
But it ain't much. It's not much else you can do but accept it.
Right.
Exactly. I can't kick, cream, cry. I can't do shit if it's my time.
Yeah. I feel you. That's how I feel. If God gonna take us, God gonna take us.
Too, man.
So,
because as you're telling the story, you sitting there like, man, I know I'm gonna get shot. It's gonna happen.
You felt
so, and then at that point, you weighing your options, and that's literally like how you think as a person, just in general, of something little. When you just getting a sandwich, you sitting here like, all right, so if I get this turkey, it's gonna be all right.
It was either
what about this bologna though?
It was either stay there. It was either stay there and draw the fire towards me so they can get to the other side, or just let them take the bullet. And I'm like, nah, that ain't right.
So I want in on this action.
I gotta do what I gotta do my job. So that's what happened.
And you did it, man. You kept people safe that day, even though you took a bullet. You kept people safe, and I think that's what you took away from there.
It was an even exchange. I made sure they got out of that situation. I took a bullet for it, and they made sure I got out of that situation. So,
and the icing on the cake, you took somebody down, which.
We took a few people down with us.
I'll be watching the videos of the tree, like when you guys are engaging people in the tree lines. Like, how do you do? Because I know, like, from watching it, you guys look for like signals of where they're shooting at, bullets, dust kicking up, leaves moving, sight scope lights or something like that.
Like, you look for things even more minuscule than that. You'll look for animals running away from a direction. You'll look for where birds scatter from.
Mm-hmm.
You'll look for stuff like that. Even before a shootout, if you see a flock of birds leave, something's in that area and you want to find out what that is.
What it is, yeah.
So you look for stuff. You'll look for patterns that are uncommon. Okay, why is this village empty during high noon? Why is nobody out at this farm? Why is nobody out praying?
Yeah, that's
telltale signs.
Yeah.
Telltale signs are, why aren't the kids coming home from school this general direction? Why?
You think outside the box like that?
Yeah, I don't understand it.
So the Taliban was that organized that they stopped the kids from walking down a block they wanted to ambush you guys on?
It's not even that. It's just that when the Taliban is setting up shop to do shit, everybody knows it but us. And when they set up shop, nobody wants to be around for when bullets fly. So when you go, if the Taliban is going to attack you, if the Taliban is going to shoot at you when you hit a village, these people are not going to stay in the village. They're going to go in their house, in their hut. They're going to close the doors, and they're not going to be outside. They don't want to get hit by a stray round.
It's like in them old Western movies where they know the
people used to come, they close the doors,
and they'll close up shop and everything. I'm like,
no different. No different.
The aspect of it is amazing. Get the memo.
They just pulled up like, and they was like,
exactly.
Yeah, I know. So so when you got ambushed, it was like you guys were surrounded, or was just like them shooting from one
They
way?
were shooting from 2-3 directions.
Yeah, because the videos I watched, they were pretty organized. I'm not gonna say that they're organized as us, but they were pretty organized.
They're not as organized, but they have their tactics.
Tactics,
yeah. Their tactics do work.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was pretty much it.
Yeah. So
he said it's not organized, but it's effective.
So if you could tell young Black men that's looking to go into the Army one thing, what would you tell them?
Research, and if it's something that you really want to do it. It paid for a lot of shit. The only thing about it is sometimes you can pay with your life. You can make the ultimate sacrifice. Hopefully you don't. But if you don't have shit going for yourself, might as well do it. And for all the people, I hear this shit all the time. Man, I ain't going in the military because I ain't about to be out here fighting the white man's war. Keep that same energy when your friends are selling the white man drugs, because that shit ain't come from Black people either.
100%. 100. I don't think people understand sometimes what they be talking about, bro. I just don't think they understand what they be talking about. I'm not fighting a war. I'm not fighting a war for people that's sitting behind the motherfucking door and they ain't going over there with me. Like, when Bush was in office, Bush should have strapped up and went with me. Then I would have went with him, bro. He should have been over there fighting with me.
I'm just not about that war life. I'm gonna keep it a buck. Only war I'm in is the one that's on my PlayStation 4 controller, and that's when I'm shooting zombies or I'm playing Call of Duty.
Man, that's the only people like me that do stuff like that.
Special people, bro.
Special kind of.
But shout out to you guys, man. Shout out. I was gonna do it at the end. I was gonna do it at the end, but we're moving past the military and about to get into some cop stuff. So I want to thank all the people that do serve in the military, have served in the military, whether you was injured yourself or PTSD. We want to give you, you guys have our support here at the What's Up Brother podcast, all right? And if you guys ever want to come on and sit down and talk to us, man, we here. All right, whether you want to do it on camera, off camera, we here, man. We're always down for a conversation, all right? So we want to give you guys the utmost respect, because without you guys, man, America would not be safe. And that's just the gist of it. If you guys didn't sign up for the Army to protect us, bro, anybody could just come over here and ravage us if we didn't have the setups that we do. So I thank you guys for going and serving, and you guys got family. And man, one of the reasons I didn't become a cop is this maybe medium reason was because every time I talked about it, my mom and my grandmother cried, like literally cried and begged me not to do it. So I dealt with that. Second reason I didn't become a cop, because the time where I graduated with I do have a criminal justice degree. Cops were killing people and people were killing cops. And all the crying and the tears, the reasons why my mom and my grandma was telling me why they didn't want to be a cop, it was right in front of me, and I had to deal with it. It's either you go into it and you have a chance of dying for a cause that's not going to change anything. Because the reason why I wanted to be a cop was to change. It was to change the environment around me. I grew up in the hood. I wanted this shit to change, and I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it from there. I feel like I could make more of a change here in this seat, talking to people like you, Mark, than I would be able to be a cop, because I can't change it being one person. So, and with that, we're going to segment into being a cop. How is it being a Black man and being a cop?
I'm in a position where everybody hates us. I mean, nobody really fucks with the police. And I'm hated on both fields,
Do you feel it's harder for a Black cop?
Yeah, because off the rip, you're stigmatized and everything like that. You know, you face some type of, you know, prejudiceness on the job because you're from the area that you work, and even when you are going to certain neighborhoods, people don't fuck with you off the simple fact, yo, you a fucking cop, you a pig. Like it's like an unwritten rule. I guess like black people are not supposed to be in law enforcement. And I'm like, man, fuck you. At the end of the day.
But if we wasn't in law enforcement, how much worse do you think it would be?
Way worse, because now you have nobody to sympathize with you, empathize with you. So,
and that's how I'm about to wonder too. Do you do a lot of that with your job? Like aside from the hate, does that still lead you to like still cut people a break, or like how you just saying like everybody's just like fuck you?
I'll look at it like this now. The way I used to police was my handcuffs and my tickets, you gotta earn them. They're not something I just give out. So I get called somewhere. I want to rectify the situation as peaceful as possible. Let you know what you did wrong and how we gonna address it, how we gonna fix it. Not saying every time I did that, but for certain things, there are ways to go where, you know, it doesn't have to be, you know, detrimental to that person's livelihood. Like I would never want to go into a situation and fuck somebody's life up just because I can, because having a record is having a fucking record. So, you know, at the end of the day, if I always look at it like this, I want you to leave this situation having a different mindset about cops. Whether you hate cops afterwards, just know that all cops are not what you see. Because at the end of the day, I have a record. At the end of the day, I'm from the hood. Now I'm at a point in time where the people I'm, you know, encountering are younger dudes. And man, you not from here. I'm like, honestly, dog, I remember your mother before your mother passed away. Or I remember your uncle. I went to school with your uncle. I went to school with your sister. I remember you when your mother brought you home from the hospital. I'm like, man, not for nothing. I dated your sister. Your sister's such and such, right? Yeah.
You know more about them than they do themselves.
But see, that's an important factor. Like when it comes to hoods, especially hoods, cops that are born that are around that need to be cops there because they understand it more than a cop that's not from that town. And even though a cop from that town might can bring some things along that can help him, you know, understand situations, cops from that area understand what those kids are going through. They understand what the family aspect is, what the community aspect is, and they can give a correct judgment of the situation than a cop that's from 3-4 towns over.
Yeah, like I see a lot of these kids, and it sucks because, you know, a lot of them, you know what, it fucks with you when you realize the person that just got killed around the corner looks like me, and the person that killed them looks like me.
Yep.
So you know, a lot of these kids, they feel like, man, this is the hood. I can't really escape. Yeah, you can. Just get up and leave.
Yep.
I know it's hard, but yo, the hardest thing I had to remember was my mother told me, she was like, yo, if you go into the military, I'll never speak to you again. I'm like, well, that's something you got to live with.
Crazy.
I agree.
I left.
I agree.
I'm like, I'm not.
Because you know what? If you took that and you could have let that stop you do so many things, just her words alone could have stopped you from pushing your life forward. Yeah, and so a lot of people get hemmed up in that. Like, you gotta
my mother
do what's best for you.
told me, she's like, yeah, I would never speak to you again. And I'm like, that sounds like a you problem. Honestly, I know this sounds harsh, but I'm like, listen, you were my mother was in her 50s at the time. I'm like, listen, you lived a full life. I'm only 17. I'm not gonna let a person that's lived a full life stop me from living a life that I don't know nothing about. So
100%.
I'm like, listen, I have to, like, I can't stay here and be complacent and not apply myself to potentially see where I can fit in this world. I can't do that because of your emotion. I refuse to. So I was like, I'm still gonna leave.
Right. I mean, you did what's best for you, and I think young men, young black men that's out here, young black women, you guys can't be held back by your family. You guys got to step up.
It's
and
a lot of
push yourselves to do
curses.
More.
A lot of generational curses that, you know, I see at work, and I try to break some of that stuff, even just by talking to people. I went, listen, live your life. Fuck society. Live your life.
Fuck society.
Live your life. Like, if it makes you happy, do it. Pursue it. It doesn't. it's gonna suck to get where you want to be, but
it's gonna be satisfying when you get there, and that's what you guys got to think about. It's
me
gonna be
being a cop,
satisfying when you get there.
Me being a cop, you know, I get to help people. I get people to see, you know, a different side of going about situations. Just open their eyes to certain things, and you know, I take it very serious. I'm now in a position where I'm not a frontline cop anymore. I'm on the detective side of it, so now I'm actually investigating stuff, and
that's what's
I get to see the closure sometimes.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit different. As a PO, you know, you get there, you address the situation. As a detective, you now take that situation and investigate it and see it through to the end. So
and get to solve that's what I wanted to be. I want to be a homicide detective. And that was another reason.
Homicide is different. Homicide is different.
Yeah,
I don't work homicide.
I studied to be a homicide detective since I was 7. So just imagine the thought process I went to give up being a cop.
Yeah. I mean, homicide, Jersey City Police, we don't investigate our own homicides. That's done by the Hudson County Prosecutor's Office.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like that's just a different. I still respond to homicides and everything, shooting. I respond to some of them, but it's just the whole workings of that is just it's a different aspect.
Yeah.
I couldn't even give you insight on it because I don't work them.
Yeah, I can give you insight. I studied it. I was 7, so I had a cop. See, I used to be lucky, bro. I had an ex-cop who was my substitute teacher, bro. So he used to sit by the computer with me, and we used to just go over it, bro. I remember it like it's yesterday. Like I'm 5 again, 6 again, sitting in the chair, like just I could flash my life back to that point. So I wanted to ask you. So a big reason why we had you on here is you being a cop. We wanted to talk about police brutality, not from just a Black person's eye, but you're on the force, so you kind of see it from a different perspective. So I'll start off with, what is police brutality to you? What is the definition of it?
Pretty much anytime you take your force and make it excessive. So you have a situation under control and you taking your authority and you're abusing your authority. I don't condone that. That's some sucker shit to me. It happens. I feel like in this day and age, we get zoned in on so much police brutality that you don't see the other side of it. Like, think about it. Nobody hates firemen because
all they do is put out the fires. I said, no, nobody hates them. All they do is put out the fires.
But do firemen fuck up? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do. But nobody hates firemen because it's not glorified. You hear about a lot of police brutality because that's what's glorified. Listen, you have way more cops saving lives than you have them taking lives.
100.
Way more. But we hone in on the Sandra Bland's, the Oscar Grant's, the Trayvon Martin's. We zone in on it, and all of those are horrible. Does police brutality happen? Absolutely, it happens. Absolutely, but I feel like what needs to happen is that the cops that are doing this stuff, they have to be punished to the fullest extreme because
consistently. I think that's the key. It got to be consistently.
My thing is, there's no room for you. I feel like that whole "I feared for my life," it's no room for that. Like the way that it's being used, I feared for my life. Like if you are a cop and you're going to approach an unarmed person and they're getting aggressive and your only resort is to pull out a gun, you don't need to be a fucking cop.
Right, 100. And you're hearing that out of a cop's mouth. So
you don't need to be a cop because at the end of the day, you get aggressive with me, I'm going to be, as calm, as collective I can be. But, the second you swing, I'm going to punch you down your fucking shit. Yeah. I don't give a fuck if we got no body camera. This body camera gonna catch it. His ass whooping. He gonna save this shit.
Guess what? The judge get to watch it too.
The judge get to watch it. Your mom get to watch it. You get to watch it. Babysitters, bill collectors, whoever. You get to watch this ass whooping. So
babysitters and bill collectors.
I don't understand it when a lot of these. I don't understand a lot of the times when these cops they get off with the "I feared for my life." I'm like, well, that's a problem because you got to do this. Like, no, I'm not doing all of this shit. I'm not doing all of this shit. All right, you not? No, I'm not doing all this shit. You sure you not? No, I'm not doing all this shit. Not like, sir, you got to come back. Let's stop.
Watch that just snuffle. Put him to sleep.
I don't understand it. Like,
but why is it? And that's a very important thing that you're saying. I'm making light of it because I'm a jokester. Martin knows this. I'm trying to make fun out of every fucking thing. But why is it that cops feel like when they're dealing with unarmed black men that their first resort is a gun?
Because they're scared. They're scared of us. You got the.
I know.
Let's be real. They got you. Let's say you're a white cop, a white kid from the suburbs. You've never been around black folks. You've never been around the hood. You get thrown into a city where it's the hood.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing you got is what you know, what you see on TV, or what it is perceived to be fucking black. And for some reason, you feel like black people are made of animanium or whatever the shit that Wolverine's fucking claws made out of.
Adamantium.
Yeah, like you just feel like black people are made out of that, and the only thing that can put them down is a fucking
gun
bullet. Like, get the fuck out of here. Go be a cop in the city that you work in.
But see, that goes back. That goes back to what I said earlier.
Amazing.
That goes back to what I said earlier about cops being put into cities or that they live next to or 3 towns over, and they don't know the city. They don't know the roads.
I feel like they shouldn't be allowed to be cops in this area. Like, and that's why I harp on black people. Like, man, fuck that. Be the change that you can see. Become a cop.
Right. I see 3 people that I went to high school with, all black men that are Jersey City cops, and I love it.
Yeah.
Because it's like they grew up in
this area. Does that make you feel good? Does that feel like a police officer in your own hood?
Hell yeah, because at the end of the day, listen, you know, if I come to your house, if you ain't got no gun, I ain't gonna shoot you.
There you go.
If you ain't got no knife, I ain't gonna.
And I can tell you this, seeing you on the corner.
I'm not going for it. I'd be happy if you came to my door if I was back in Jersey. I'd be happy if it was you. Shit.
I might put these paws on you. I might put these hands on you, but at the end of the day, it's warranted because of your actions. It's not like I just came in to rough you up. Like, no, that's not me. I'm not much so big. I'm only what? I'm 5'9", 170 pounds. Like, I'm not just going and throwing weight. Like, nah, that's not me. But at the end of the day, you can rest assured, like, I can understand. I can empathize with you. I can understand exactly where it is you come from. I can understand why you feel emotional, but I also can let you know, listen, you're wrong. You are absolutely wrong. You cannot do this. Lawfully, you can't do this. You got to leave, or you got to go, or you got to come with us. So
right. And I want to say this, guys. What Mark is saying, there's so many cops. I mean, so many cops like this, bro. But you guys just lump the bad ones and you think all of them are bad. No, there's so many cops that feel this way that would love to get the bad seats out, but it's the system that's put in place that actually makes it hard for them to do it. So you guys got to understand. That's why I always feel
like, yo, listen, you want these bad cops out of place, listen, come on this job, because it's been like my district alone is very fucking multi-cultural. Like, it's a lot of black cops that work in the South District. So we'll see some shit. I'm like, yo, nah, that ain't good. Nah,
but that's what you need. That's what you need.
Like,
there was a black woman cop, forget the year, but she just, I think last year, just got her pension back. But a white cop was beating a black man up unarmed, and she fucking jumped on him, and he wound up punching her in her face because she pulled him off of her. And then she wound up getting fired and lost her pension, and she fought for like 10 years to get it back. I forget the lady's name. I think it was in Florida. I'm not sure. I think it was.
I know what you're talking about. What you're talking about, but I'm not sure.
Shit like that.
Yeah, I thought you was reaching for the record books for it. I thought you had it on.
No. Shit like that happens.
So hold on, wait. Okay, I got it right here. All right, here we go. You're talking about Mary Beth.
Shit like that happens. So it's like for cops out there, that is something that they do worry about. They do worry about, speaking up, saying something, and then losing their career. Absolutely. So that's why most cops don't say anything.
Nah, but we're past that right about now in this department.
You have to be, and it needs to be like that all over the world.
It's way too many brothers on this force now for shit to just be happening when nobody's saying nothing.
Right, and that's how it needs to be. It needs to be a diverse group. So when niggas step out of line, somebody can say something. Somebody can step up like, yo, the way you handle that in that moment, the way what you doing, let them go. Nah, it's not how you do it.
Yeah, we definitely have that up in this department to a degree.
And we appreciate that. We appreciate the real community that understand that every cops are good cops. Like, we know good cops. Like, I grew up around good cops. My family was cops. They were good cops. Like, so people that understand the aspect of a good cop understands that you guys do good work, and when you guys could be free and stopping somebody, 100% you guys would. But people don't understand that sometimes in some states and some cities, they have restrictions. They are very restricted from touching another cop or stopping another cop from harming somebody. So that's why a lot of times you'll see cops either standing on the side, right? But sometimes you'll see cops standing on the side, or more majority of the time you'll see them join in because like, all right, I'm not going to sit here and not join the fuck in. And they looking at me like, oh, he the whistleblower, like, no. So
I join the fuck in and let you know, like, listen, we ain't doing that shit, bro.
Right. So how do you think police brutality affects the Black community?
It just perpetuates the stereotype that all cops are bastards. So if you have somebody, think about it in aspects of fucking dogs. Pit bulls are rabid. Pit bulls, this, that. Pit bulls bite people. They're just aggressive by nature. Are they? No.
No.
Bad trainers train bad dogs.
Bad dogs, yeah.
No
matter what type of dog it is.
Bad trainers train dogs to be bad dogs. So if you have a person that doesn't like dogs already, the second a fucking dog does something out of pocket, they're gonna be like, see, this is exactly what I'm talking about. They're gonna hate it regardless.
So it's gonna act like that because you're putting off that type of energy. So therefore, that's all you're gonna know. Now, if you want to get into a Dalmatians, they some angry motherfuckers.
There's certain dogs that come with certain attitudes, but if you train them the right way, all dogs
are the most
vicious. Yeah, they
nastiest fucking dogs, but nobody ever.
They'll mess your ankles up, bro.
Yeah, but nobody ever says anything about them.
Nah, because they're so small.
They're so small.
That's what the problem is. They equate big. They equate big with scary, small with innocent, and that's not always the case.
Because there's a lady that comes around my house when she walks her dog. She afraid of my dog because my dog is a Great Dane. And she walks around with some shit that's like a Shih Tzu or something like that. And she an old ass lady, so she afraid. Right. Yup, and she be mad because every time my dog be out there, she walk through, Quasi be barking his ass off because of a little dog. And plus at the same time, Quasi just want to play. He a big old level boy. He barking for your attention for you to touch him. She'd be crazy. She would get scared every time. It sucks, but
I already kind of know the answer because you kind of answered it already. But I'm gonna ask the question for the people. If a suspect did not resist, officers wouldn't use force. True or false?
You're not supposed to. So, majority of the time, I'm gonna say that's true. From my standpoint, from what I've seen.
Okay. So if you don't resist, they don't use force. But if you are Black and it's a white cop, it can happen. It can happen. So you guys got
Uncle Toms too. You got some Black
and I was going to say that. I was going to get to that. I was going to get to that. So what he mean is, we grew up in a hood. So you grew up on the opposite. We grew up on opposite ends of the hood. I was in this hood. You were all the way down here, Mark, in this hood, bro. The menace in our community was Black cops. It wasn't white cops. It was Black cops, bro. They was the one beating us with the nightsticks. They was the one fucking us up, bro. You don't know how many times my brothers got fucked up by Black cops, and the white cops are just standing there like, yeah, they got him. They got him. They just walking.
I will say, when it came to Jersey City, those Black cops that was doing that shit, I'm not gonna say they had a good reason, but I understand it.
Yeah, I mean, we was wild. It was fighting everywhere, big brawl, so you had to get control of it.
Especially around then.
But in those moments, it was more of those Black cops stepping up with them nightsticks than the white cops. The two encounters I had with white cops was they stopped, didn't even get out the car, told me and my brother to stop, asked us our name. It's like, yo, we looking for somebody named Sugar Baby or something like that. It was like, all right, you guys have a nice day. And then the second time is 2 undercover cops ran down on me and Tbrown, didn't say they was cops. Nothing with white cops. I never had a bad encounter.
Like, I've had encounters with cops, some good, some bad, and I just take it as what it is.
Yeah.
Listen,
facts. That's
what it is what it is.
It is. But I think that's what I'm alluding to, and I want your opinion on it. Because you always see these videos of Black people being stopped by cops, and the first thing they do is, "What you stopping me for? You ain't got no right to stop me. You got," and I'm like, yo, that's the wrong way to handle the situation. If you stay calm, whether they are berserk or not, if you stay calm, the 9 times out of 10 you're going to make it out of that situation 100% fine.
I always tell people the one thing we do. And it's not just in that situation, it's in situations. I tell people all the time, we have a tendency to not realize that God gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth. for a reason. Listen twice, talk once. I tell people all the time, if there's no ignorance to the law, it's not an excuse. No laws. Take your time out to read up on certain things. Motor vehicle laws, especially. Take time out to find out what probable cause, reasonable suspicion is. Take time to read some of those charges within your jurisdiction, so you're not bombarded with mumbo jumbo code talk. You can understand. You get pulled over, and let's say, your license, registration, insurance, all of that's up to par. And let's just say you ran through a stop sign. The cop pulls you over, license, registration, and insurance. Hand it to him. Don't ask, what did you pull me over for? Because it doesn't matter. And the reason why it doesn't matter is because if I'm going to give you a ticket, there's nothing that you can say that's going to change my mind for me giving you a ticket. Fight it in court. Don't record everything. But don't end the situation. And it sucks that we have to think about it this way, but just know. So the second you give them license, registration, insurance, hey, where are you going? Hey, I'm going home. Where are you coming from? Officer, I'm going home. Don't bait them into an argument, because at the end of the day, if everything is legit on your car, most they can give you is a ticket. And once they start doing that, step out of the car. Well, officer, I'm not going to step out of the car, and this is the reason why. I don't have to be nasty about it. You pulled me over for a traffic Title 39 violation. If you feel like I committed a crime, that's different. But I broke a traffic law. Write the ticket. I'll accept the ticket, and I would like to go on about my business. Unless you suspected me of doing a 2C crime, I'm not going to step out of the car.
Yeah, because it's the right way of handling things and the wrong way of handling things. And most of the time, you niggas handle things the wrong way, but then you want to put it all on the cop. You guys got to handle it the right way on your end too. And I get it. In some small cases, there are people that do handle it the right way, and some cops do have that little power trip that me and you talked about a little earlier.
Right,
and they go too far. But majority of the time, bro, if you guys stay calm, the cop is going to calm down.
And I always look at it like this. Like, I've been pulled over numerous times, just as recently as a month ago, 2 months ago. And I was on my motorcycle, and I didn't even say I blew a stop sign. I did like a little rolling stop sign. So I'm about to get on the turnpike, and I see this Bayonne cop hauling ass to catch me. And he catches up to me, and I could leave. It ain't like he's going. If I got on that highway,
he said I could dip on him if I wanted.
If I got on 440, it wasn't no way he's gonna catch. But I pulled over. So he gets out of the car, shut your bike off, this, that, and the third. I'm like, all right, shut my bike off. Take my badge, I put it out. I turn around. He's like, oh, you're on the job? Yeah. And so he cut his body camera off. He's like, oh, man, you blew a stop sign. I'm like, how long have you been on the job? He's like, oh, I've been on a year and a half. Stop doing that. He's like, what do you mean? No. It's not even that. He's like, what do you mean stop doing what? I'm like, dog, I watched you out of my rear view mirror. You went across yellow lines. You had people going to the side. You blew through the second stop sign only to catch up to me on a bike. And for what? There's construction going on. It's daytime. There's other cars. Another car had to swerve once they seen your license sirens. You did all of that for what? For a motherfucker on a motorcycle that you're not going to catch? I understand it. It's a traffic violation. But the extreme you went to catch up to me made it way more dangerous than what I did. Like, I rolled through the stop sign. You did damn near 80 miles an hour to catch up to me, kicking up dirt, rocks, and everything, pushing people on the side of the road, going into oncoming traffic just to catch up to me.
Like, you committed murder, and then you see that all the time too.
I'm like, for what?
Right.
I'm like, listen, you work for Hudson County. We already have a bad boy list for pursuits. We're not supposed to be pursuing cars, let alone motorcycles. I'm like, now, what happens if I decided I'm not gonna pull over and I'm gonna go on 440? Are you gonna chase me? You're not gonna catch me. All you're gonna do is put my life at risk, because I'm traveling at a high rate of speed. I'm trying to get away from you. That puts other people's life at danger because I'm like, and you're traveling at a high rate of speed for what? Think twice before you do certain things. Know when to hold them, know when to fold them, know when to walk away. You know what I mean? Everything is not.
You gotta know.
It's not. Yeah, it's not action every time. Like it's not. Oh shit, I got action. Let me go get on it. Nah, listen.
And I think I think a lot of them have that mindset. Like I gotta get on this. Is that like?
And I say it all the time.
You gotta sit back and just take a breath.
We got 25 years. We ain't gotta catch everybody the first year.
That's true.
That's how I'm thinking.
Gotta
He
catch
probably
everybody,
trying to prove something to somebody. Shit.
Yeah, you gonna fuck around. You gonna fuck around and prove why these motherfucking cars need fucking better safety equipment. That's what you're gonna prove. You gonna prove that shit to yourself.
So, Mark, if you witnessed a fellow officer committing a crime, what would you do?
Ain't no fellow officer committing a crime in front of me. Don't do that shit. They know better.
he said, "Not over here, young blood. Not over here.
Not over here.
Not over here." Which I can't even be mad at it.
No, you ain't doing that shit.
I can't even be mad at it.
He said they know better. You know what's going down when they say they know better.
Right.
I think we kind of. I'm looking over a question I kind of. We kind of answered this, so I'm not gonna answer it. We kind of answered it.
Sure.
Yeah. So I'll ask. Can you describe a very I can't even speak. Can you describe a very stressful situation in which you remain calm and collective?
December 10th, the Jewish shooting, which we won't speak about.
Yeah. Well, okay. Word. Word. You did though. I'll give it to him, bro. I was watching from the window, and as calm as I had to keep myself, you were calm, bro. You were calmer. You were calmer than the first cop on not the first cop on site over there, but the first cop on site on my block. It was an undercover cop, but we'll talk about that. You were more calmer than him, bro. When I seen you and seen him, I was like, nah, Mark gonna make it out of this shit. But him, I don't know, because
there's been times where I had to keep my cool. I hate calls that have to do with kids, and I have a child, and I don't really want to talk about a lot of that stuff because it's still a sensitive topic in respect to the family. But it's been times where, you got to keep level-headed. You see some shit and it sucks, but you got to get your emotions out of it.
Because you're human at the end of the day. And I think people take that aspect away from cops too, is that you guys are human. Like you guys have families, you have children, you have wives, like you guys have, you guys like laughing and having conversations and hanging out with your boys. Like you like the same thing other people like, but people just distance you guys from the rest of the humans, and it sucks because most of you guys that wear that uniform are very good people. You guys are very good.
Yeah, so like a lot of those crimes, it's just like you see certain things and you gotta put your emotions to the side and act accordingly.
Word. So what do you view as the most important day-to-day responsibility of a police officer?
Going out there and making a connection with people that you interact with, because you might have, like, I was one time I was working overtime in uniform, and this lady, she walked past, and I'm just chilling, talking to one of my boys on a corner. She walked past, I'm like, how you doing? She looked at me with a strange face and just walked. I'm like, oh, okay, maybe she's having a bad day. So she came back maybe an hour later. I'm like, hey, how you doing? And she looked, I'm like, yo, last time I said something to you, you had a mean mug. Like, now, what happened? Like, who pissed in your fucking cornflakes this morning? She like, nah, just that, y'all cops. Like, she like, y'all cops, y'all just be doing too much. I'm like, so saying hello to you is doing too much? She's like, no, but just in general. I'm like, so you're generally talking to me about a cop that you've never met before that said, so far our interaction has been nothing but genuine. I said, how are you doing? So we're going to start there. I said good morning to you. And I said good evening to you. So just on a personal level, the connection that we had, the interaction that we had, can you say they were bad or good? She's like, well, for the most part, they were good. I'm like, So because you've had bad interactions with other people, you're gonna let that dictate how you go about your everyday life?
Yes, most people do.
I'm like, yo, so do you plan on ever being married? She's like, yeah, if it happens. I'm like, you ever got cheated on? Yeah. So you think that, so with that logic, you'll never get married.
Same analogy.
Yeah, right.
You'll never get married. She's like, what do you mean I never get married? I'm like, well, if
you're
all
gonna
cops
hold
are,
all the baggage.
if you're gonna treat all cops like they did something to you, why don't you treat dudes like that? Because you got cheated on. So why would you want to go seek marriage if you
feel that way? Yeah,
you feel that way? Like every since you like generalize, you like generalizing everything. Why would you give another guy a chance if the last two dudes did you wrong? Like that's how you come in. I'm like, oh, listen, you don't know me from a can of paint.
Right.
I don't know you. All I did was say was good morning.
Right.
Sometimes a good morning is all a person needs.
Yep. 100%. But I think that's a key. What you said. It's like most of us out here, we try to label cops we don't know. We don't try to get to know them as, oh, you're a bad cop. Most of you guys do the same thing. No, they don't. Like if you guys just take the time out to get to know them, like then it would. I think my battery's died in my light. So you gotta have to deal with me like this for the rest of the podcast.
I'm trying to keep my headphones charged, no lie.
But yeah, most cops aren't the way that we think they are. I think the most important thing that we need to get back to is police in the community being a part of the community. Yes, being a part of the community.
I'm a part of an organization called Blesk. So we do a lot of stuff within the community. Blesk, it stands for Black Law Enforcement Services in the community. So we do book bag drives, Christmas drives, toy giveaways, barbecues, block parties. We do all types of stuff.
If you could give me the information to it, I'll just drop it in the link below.
Definitely. I'll send that to you. I'll send you our Facebook page.
Yeah, do it. You can do it to me. You can do it to me after. You can do it after.
Okay.
You can do it after. So we don't take away from it. But yeah, just send me the links and I'll link the stuff down below, guys. So if you guys want to check it out, you go check it out. All right. So tell me about a time when you had to deal with a person who was acting hostile, not yet violent. How did you keep that situation from escalating?
I kill people with their own stupidity. So it was this one situation where this lady, she had called the cops and whatnot. We showed up in numbers because we have to. So this dude is recording and I'm like, oh, okay. I got my body camera on, I'm recording as well. So he's like, man, y'all cops, y'all show up for what? Y'all don't show up any other time when people doing this, that, and the third. So I'm like, really? Is that really what we're going? Like, I hate when people say that. I'm like, no, that's never really happened. Like, the most of the times the shooting happens, we're there really fucking quick. To be like, yeah, y'all take 10 minutes. No, the fuck we don't. Listen, I watch the CCTV cameras, and I actually do the time it takes for the shooting to happen and the cops to get on scene. It ain't never been 10 motherfucking minutes, all right?
Oh, no, so, you guys are really, they're on it ASAP. And with the cameras now, with the motion detectors that you guys got out there, it's even faster.
So I'm like, yo, dog, this dude is just talking mad shit. He like, man, y'all don't do nothing when people, y'all don't come like this when people getting shot up, y'all don't try to help nobody. Y'all don't really want to help anybody. So I'm like, and you do? He's like, well, I'm doing way more than what you doing right now. I'm like, oh, okay. I'm like, well, matter of fact, you live in the house with the green truck in front of it. I'm not gonna say where he lives at. I'm like, but you live
privacy.
Yeah, I'm like, you live in that. I'm like, you live in that house, right? Yeah. I'm like, you new to the neighborhood. He's like, how you figure? I'm like, well, I've been in this district 6 years. I remember when you moved in, and there's been 5 shootings that happened in front of your block. When did you ever assist? But you the first one out there with your video camera. I'm like, honestly, bro, somebody can get shot in the artery. It takes them about 3 minutes to bleed. It takes you about damn a minute to get your phone out and start recording. Right. That's 1 minute you could even use to save his life. So I'm like, yo, what are you really talking about? Nah, see, you trying to deflect. I'm not deflecting. If you're the person that witnessed somebody get shot, you're there at the scene of the crime. Why are you not offering help? I'm like, why are you not offering help?
But see, that's important. Like, what you're saying is important.
I'm like, you know why you're not offering help is because you don't give a fuck. I'm like, listen, you live in the hood. You know the probability of motherfuckers getting shot is really high.
High, yeah.
You don't want the cop. You saying the police, but you ain't doing nothing to help the situation.
100.
Ain't doing nothing but help the situation.
Yeah, and this goes out to all the people that just sit there and hold their phones and think that they're actually doing something. You're not doing anything.
Yeah, you're not doing anything. I'm like, listen, the year of 2019, I've been fucking back and forth to the hospital because I've had people's blood on my body so many times. I had to get tested.
Yeah.
Tested. So don't sit there and tell me, oh, we don't do anything. I'm like, yo, you know how many times I don't have to put my fingers in people's bullet wounds to get them to stop bleeding? You know how many times that I used to have to take medical shears and cut people's fucking clothing because I have to get to their bullet hole? How many times I had to do chest compressions, administer tourniquets? You know how many times I have to do that shit? Don't
damn
you
near
dare
registered nurse out here, bro.
Don't you dare sit there and tell me, oh, we don't. It's motherfuckers in the hood to be like, oh shit, that's the cop that fucking put the tourniquet. It's one dude that lives in the hood. I'm like, yo, you know you owe me. Like you owe me something because I got your blood. I like, yo, I literally had your blood coming up the sleeves of my uniform.
Mm-hmm.
So when people tell me that shit, I'm like, man, you better get the fuck out of here.
Yeah,
fuck up, you get swole.
I don't think people understand the good that cops do.
They don't. They just want to jump on. Like a lot of people just want to jump on the bandwagon. You got people that's never had an interaction with the
cops. Cop, right? That's on the bandwagon. That cops are bad.
That's on the bandwagon. Like you had that Black Lives Matter rap. You had that Black Lives Matter fucking the
march.
Not the march that happened, and it was some Asian dude who didn't even live in the hood, and I'm like. Not saying that you can't be a part of it, but I'm like, yo,
what are you fighting for?
Do you even know? What are you fighting for?
Do you even know?
Like that's like you hear a place got free pizza. You ain't never been there before, but you just show up for the pizza.
And that place been over 10 years.
Like you're saying defund the Jersey City Police. Why? What interaction did you have? Because I know where the guy lives. You're not from here.
No, you're probably from the white little
areas. With us.
You're not from here.
What we call the white areas.
Like you're not from here. You've never the most you have is maybe a traffic violation. That's it.
If that.
If that. Like come on, man. Like get out of here. Like you got people like I look at certain people and I'm just like, yo, you know what? I'm gonna hush my mouth.
It's so funny that you brung up the defund the police because that's actually the next question. How did you feel about defund the police? Defund you guys.
I said when people wanted the police departments abolished, I was like, yo, for a week we shouldn't show up to work. For a week we shouldn't show up to work. Yeah, I don't want to say
that would have been a lovely joke.
Cool.
Only if it was April Fool.
Everybody, you off for the next week. You off for the next week.
You want to hear something crazy? I said the same thing.
Yeah, and I'm a civilian. Off for the next week.
And I'm a civilian.
And I live next week.
I live dead ass in the hood, nigga. With all the good shots happening.
I know what's going to happen.
And I said the same thing.
I'm like, listen, I know there's going to be like this episode of The Purge. Mm-hmm. Like it's going to be a Purge.
Mm-hmm.
It would
like, but see, civilians see people on the app. People think you defund the police, we stop the police killings, and then everything else stops with it. But what we don't address is our 13, 14, 15-year-olds, 16-year-olds out here killing each other. That's what we don't address.
I don't even go into that because you had people saying, oh, we need to take some of that money and allocate it towards, mental health. Instead of, people that's schizo and this, that, and the third, instead of the cops showing up, we should have medical health providers do that. And I'm like, we have that.
We
do have that. We have that. Jersey City has it. And guess what happens? They show up. Sometimes they get fucked up, or the person that's off their meds don't comply. Then
they call the cops. Yeah.
I'm like,
because they can't handle them.
Do you think I really want to go to some of these calls?
No.
Hell no. Because I already know it's some bullshit, but I gotta go anyway.
Yep. Because it's your responsibility, but I don't think the civilians or people understand that this is what you guys, the job calls for. It calls for you guys to go and get this mentally ill patient. And it's like, it's sad because there was incidents where cops have shot and killed mentally ill people, but it's like, yeah, it's fucked up. The cops need to have some more, discipline and control there. But it's like, the same thing goes back to the cops that not from the hood. Some of those cops don't know what they're walking into. They literally don't know what they're walking into.
That's when it sucks.
Do you feel like you have the upper hand, like in your situation, like with being a cop from
certain situations? In certain situations, yeah, because I know people like if girl exhibit A, she got fucked up, and I'm like, oh shit, I know exactly why she got fucked up. that puts me up one step ahead of the game. Like I know why she got fucked up. I know exactly who did it. I ain't gotta run after nobody. I ain't gotta show up at nobody. I just gotta show up.
Show up at the house.
Come on. Or if I see something on, people go Facebook Live. I see something. That's such and such.
That's a great question. How much does social media play in arrest today?
Easy, because people can't shut the fuck up.
Right.
People don't know how to move in silence. Like real killers move in silence and violence. You understand?
Yep.
So you doing certain things, people are gonna post it. The internet's gonna post it, and once it's on the internet, it ain't going nowhere. It's there forever.
Yep.
So I see certain things, and I'm like, yo, if people write certain things, and you're like, yo, people end up snitching on themselves worse than Bobby Shmurda did in Hot Nigga.
Hot Nigga.
And
so Bobby did snitch on himself in that song.
Yes.
He certain things. But yo, I have to get off right now. When is the next time you want?
I'll get in contact with you, bro, and we can finish because I had just one last question, and now it was done.
Ask it.
Police officers work in an increasingly violent and deadly situation. How do you handle it?
Train how you fight. There's many different ways where you listen. I always look at it like this: you can't be scared going into every situation. You can have fear, but you can't be fucking shit scared. You can't let motherfuckers take your heart. If you know that you not comfortable throwing hands, you better start getting comfortable. You better go take some type of MMA, jiu-jitsu, taekwondo, kickboxing, boxing, wrestling, do something. But just hoping that somebody don't punch you in your face is not good enough, because once you get punched in the face, and once you get punched in the face, and the second you get punched in the face, your first instinct is to whip out a gun. You're wrong.
Yeah.
It's time to throw down. It's time to.
Because it's not equal force. It's not equal force.
Yeah.
It's not
equal force. So you got to get. We live in a time where people are defying the police, and I understand why people are defying the police. But at the same time, as a cop, you can't go. You can't start up there once people are defiant. You got to learn how to talk people down. Listen, I have a philosophy where when I get to a situation, I want to talk you into handcuffs. I want you to feel honored to be arrested by me.
Yes, I want you to feel honored.
That's funny, but I can understand it.
I want you to feel honored. Like, it's been so many times I arrested motherfuckers, got them into the cell, like, yo, you know what, you're a cool dude, bro. Like, I ain't even mad. It is what it is. Like, you got other motherfuckers. Like, listen,
that would have did 10 times worse, yeah.
And I had motherfuckers on the street that was like, yo, Officer McKnight was good. And I'm looking at him like, you don't remember you locked me up, man? Like that. I'm like, oh, shit, now I remember you. Was good, man. He's like, nah, man, that shit got thrown out. You know what I mean? I fucked up. You know what I mean? I ain't trying to do that. I'm different, man. I'm a different person. Man. I'm like, oh, good. Just don't get back in trouble, because you heard what the judge said, right? Yeah, listen.
So do you feel like you make a change then?
In a certain,
or at least trying to make a change?
I'm trying. And
yeah,
I know I made changes in certain people. I've seen certain people that I know that was in that life that got arrested, and they are trying to change slowly but surely. You know, the streets kind of pulling them back, but they trying. But
it's hard. Yeah, it's hard out here for them, and you got to understand that too, because if they don't have But yeah, Mark, it was good having you, man. I know you got to go. You probably got to get to work, man. Thank you for having you. Thank you for stopping by and giving us some time, giving the people some knowledge out there. We're gonna have Mark back so we can talk about the Jewish shooting. And
definitely.
Yeah, I have his social media linked down below. I have the organization that he's with linked down below. So if you guys want to go and join up and help the cops, get involved more in the community, you guys can do that. All right. So you guys give it up for Mark for stopping by, man. Thank you, Mark. We appreciate you, brother. All right, brother. You be good. You be good.
Take it easy.
Nice seeing you, man. Take it easy.
I'll see y'all again.
All right. See you soon.
Definitely.
Later.
All right. There we go. So yeah, guys, I mean, that was a good one, man. I know we kind of did it a little different because we was talking in between, but we all boys, so you guys got to understand that when we do get together, when we boys for a long time, we do incorporate regular boy talk into it, which helped us loosen up in my eyes. We loosened up a little bit. Mark was able to share some things as a cop that other cops wouldn't be comfortable sharing. He was able to talk about police brutality while being a black cop and in a dominated black area. You know, he is in Ward F, Jersey City, right where I am, and I have seen him do work. And he is a good cop, man. And we got to stop labeling these cops out here as all being bad. Yeah, there are bad apples.
Bad.
We need to work together as a community to figure out where these bad apples are and get them out. On the other hand, like Mark addressed or alluded to earlier, and like I said, they need to be held accountable. That was on Mark's end. And my end was consistently. We have to see it consistently. Every cop, every time they do something, they have to be held accountable. Because if not, and we're just going to keep having these police brutality things, we're going to keep having these, you know, black people getting shot unarmed by, you know, power hungry cops, or
just black confusion overall.
Right, black people getting attacked by a cop for no reason. But then also on the black side, bro, you guys got to chill out. Yeah, I got an attitude. But like you heard in the podcast, bro, when me and T them cops ran up on us and didn't even introduce themselves, and I was able to be like, "Yo, T, just put your hands up," and I got it, and I was able to answer all his questions in a respectable way to where we left. That situation could have ended up bad because they literally hopped out on us with no identification. They didn't tell us they were cops. I was just smart enough to hear the doors, look back, realize they were cops, know they were coming for us, and address the situation as needed.
I call it glimpse of the badge chain on one of them, like the leader, the one that you saw. You had that drawn out already.
Most of us don't take the time to think about it. Most of us just act off pure emotions. Like I said earlier, why are you stopping me? Why are you pulling me over, officer? You ain't got no right to pull me over. No, I'm not getting out of my car. What did Mark say as a black cop that gets pulled over? What does he say? Just apply with him. Look, listen, you pulled me over for a traffic ticket. This does not require me to get out of my car, but it's how you guys talk to them, bro. Because if you calm and you stay calm the whole way and they see that their tone or their aggressive ain't bothering you, guess what they're going to do? They're going to calm the fuck down. But when you guys are rowdy, that gives them the excuse to jump on you, to pull you out your car, to hurt you, to whip out their gun, to tease you, to mace you. We have to be better on our end. We literally have to be better on our end. Like if we're better on our end, it forces them to be better on their end, and it shows the light or puts the light more on what they are doing than what we are doing. Because right now they're not sitting here saying, "Oh, you know, yeah, cops do this to black people, and black people are innocent." No, they're going, look how they act. Look how they act when we stop them. Look how they act to us when we approach them. Every cop isn't the same, and you guys have to remember they are human, just like we are. We are human. We all make mistakes. We all make mistakes. We all mess up. All right. So do them. Some of them are evil people. Yes. Just like some of our government are evil people. Yes. But we have the power as the community that they protect, as the community they serve, to get things done the right way, to force them to do things the right way. We all have to step up and do it. This isn't an individual thing. This isn't, I'm a cry out and people are going to gravitate towards me and then help me. No, we have to stick together and get it done together. Because if not, we'll never get anywhere. We'll be right here in this same situation with power hungry cops beating us up, killing us because they are afraid, because they're not from our neighborhoods. That's another thing that needs to change. We need cops from our neighborhood. We need the ones that grew up here, that spent all their lives here. Because now they know the environment. They know what causes these situations. They know what causes a person to gravitate this way or gravitate that way. That's what we need. But we as civilians have the power to fix it. Now, today is Tbrown's quote of the day. So we're going to kick it over to Tbrown so he can give us the quote of the day.
And with that being said, quote of the day would be, if you don't stand for anything, if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything.
You'll fall for anything, baby. And a lot of you guys fall for what you see on TV. So that is a great quote, Tyrone. Stop these misconceptions about police brutality. Yes, you heard it from a cop. It is real. Cops do it. Yes, we know it's real. Stop blaming all of them, because it ain't all of them. Always remember that at some point in your life, you're going to need to call them.
Oh, no.
And they're going to remember what you say about them. All right. Now I'm playing. A good cop won't hold that against you. But that's just to show you I am a jokester. I do like joking. We are going to try to make a little bit more fun out of this show and be loose with it. As you see me drinking my little red sweet wine, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's overall a good conversation. I hope you guys can take some out of these from him being in the army and being shot by a Taliban and what he's seen on his end to the conspiracies he thinks about being there. Like, there's a lot that you guys can take away from, but you do got to open your mind up and be better in your body and in yourself. So when you do have an encounter or you do want to go into the military, your mindset is right for it. Because a lot of people go into situations where their mindset is right. But this your boy Troy.
This your boy Tbrown.
And this is the What's Up Brother podcast. We gonna catch you guys later. Peace
out.